What up, what up, what up? What's cracking, everybody? What's what? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming here with you on the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel. Here with an excellent, fantastic guest today. Here with me. Very special in my opinion. I really think this dude is like an idol of the community. Whether he wants to accept that or not, I don't give a damn. This is coming from me, y'all. I think this dude, just because, look at his body of work. It is impressive. A lot of us would be extremely happy to be in brother's shoes right now. And it's really authentic and dope because just not even that long ago, he was at, the Summer Game Fest. He was at all these different showcases. He just in case you thought he was just doing it just to, do it for the clout or any of that kind of stuff. Bro went to an elementary school, bro. I showed my wife what he did, and she broke it down into tears because I was telling her, I've been telling her stuff like this throughout my life. Like, bro, I really wish somebody came into schools when I was young and told me that I had the opportunity to get into gaming. Here I am, 35 years old now, and I started at 33. I could have started way back then, but nobody even told me that was possible. Not saying that, I couldn't have finagled, but I tell you what, brother HIPHOPGAMER is here today. HIPHOPGAMER is here today, and I'm happy to bring him here to the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel. Brother, please go on ahead, shout yourself out, let everybody know where they can find you, which is literally everywhere. But go on ahead and do your thing. Shout yourself out.
Yo, check it out. You know what I'm saying? First off, TSWS, one love and God bless. You already know what it is. It's the go to the game, HIPHOPGAMER Hot 97. I'm telling y'all right now, it's an honor to be here. Summer Games Fest was fire. You already know I had to, put the Xbox Fan Fest joint on, for the episode today. You know what I mean? And you can literally find me everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Just Google my name and we lit. You know what I mean? So let's go, son.
I absolutely love it. I love the energy too because it's nonstop. You keep that energy all the time. And brother, I don't know. I don't know how you do it all the time, but you got that gas, bro. You got it.
Yo, it's been like that since I was a kid, son. I be in church, you know what I'm saying? Like, wilding out in church, like, yo, what up? You know what I'm saying? Like, praise the Lord. Let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, like, it's been like that since forever.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Man, I'm from the Midwest. We have a whole different swag a little bit. We a little bit slower than y'all New York cats out there, all right? It's all right. So we doing our own things out over here. But anyways, continuing on ahead, I would like to first of all ask you what I ask everybody that comes onto the show. And I tried to ask you beforehand, but you kept it under wraps.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you guys are new to the show, if anybody's watching that's new, what I usually like to do at the beginning of the show is talk about people's gaming histories and see what really got them involved in the gaming in the first place. As I got done telling you, he was just at an elementary school talking to kids. He was a kid once just like all of us. So I'm wondering, what was it that first got you into gaming? And before you even get to the part where I ask you, what was the first console? Was there a trigger moment into where you were just like, yo, arcade, or go to a homie's house and see a video game set up and you just had never seen it? Describe to me what was that first initial moment that you really recognized gaming.
Got you. So first off, man, it was my grandmother. So rest in peace to my grandmoms. She was the one who taught me how to play video games when I was 4 years old. And I've been playing video games all my life ever since. And obviously now it's my career. The first game system I ever, remember having, the first game I ever remember playing in my life was Pac-Man, Atari 2600, joystick, red button, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And classic. Me and my grandma, so me and my grandmas would play that, battle in that all day. You know what I'm saying? Then, obviously came the Nintendo. Then I had ColecoVision and, Atari 2600, 5200, I think, and then 70 something hundred. I had all of this stuff. But the first console I can say that I played like all day was Atari 2600 that my grandmother and it was my grandmother's game. Like, you know what I mean? I played her game. Like, my grandmother was really a gamer for real. But she taught me, she didn't just teach me about video games, she taught me about life through video games. So the thing, to answer your other question, what really got me into gaming even deeper and why I wear it on my sleeve so much and why I'm so passionate about it is the sentimental value that came with it through my grandmother and what she taught me. So in video games, she told me that the passion that I got for these games, there's challenges, there's objectives, and there's bosses that you got to defeat to achieve your goal. And when you get older in life, you're going to be met with challenges and objectives and bosses and things that you're going to have to overcome to achieve the very goals that you want. If you apply that same passion that you got for these games to your life, you will find your purpose and you will be able to become successful. And that stuck with me in a big way. So between video games, God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and just sheer love that my grandmother gave me and instilled in me is what led me to the type of passion that I have for games and the type of passion that I got for life. And that's why every day is such an amazing day. And that's why I am the way I am, man. Real talk, son.
Man, that was phenomenal. You just ripped it off right there. You just ripped the Band-Aid off and let me know. So that was dope. To kind of like, I guess, magnify the moment to when you got into gaming and, you know, you were really big in playing it with the grandmas and whatnot. But what was it like going back into the community with that stuff? Like, what was gaming going on like with your friends or the at-home life and whatnot? Because you really said, you know, grandma really hooked me up, right? Was it like you living with grandma? Did you live, you know, with the parents and you only got to play games when you went over there? Did you have something of your own at home, or like, how was that piece of, you know, your life handled?
Yeah. So I live with my grandmother and my father. I never met my mother. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who my mom's is. I saw pictures of her before in my life, but I don't know her. I never met her. So I don't have a relationship with my moms. You know what I'm saying? At all. I live with my grandmother and my father. In terms of like my friends and family and cousins and stuff like that, all the time, son, be going to school and stuff like that, you know, talking about NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat, going to the arcades, the corner stores, you know what I'm saying, where they had the arcades at and stuff, getting our quarters ready and everything. There was actually Golden Axe and Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and there was another game, I don't remember, Centipede and stuff like that, that was across the street from my crib in East New York, Brooklyn, in the laundromat. And I would go to the laundromat all the time to play video games too. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was all around me. And when I got with the homies, we talked about, you know, games, played games all the time as well. So that was always fun. The only difference is in, you know, just growing up in the hood, there was times where I would talk about, you know, Final Fantasy is dope, or Akari Warriors is dope, or the first Metal Gear that was on you know, Nintendo, or Saturday Night Slam Masters, and, you know, other types of games, Pitfall, and, you know, Flashback, and like a whole bunch of other games that in the hood is like, those, I ain't gonna front, this is the way it was coming up. But in the hood, they would be like, you play those types of games? Or like, nah, you a nerd, you a whack. Nah, we only play NBA Live, you know, like we play Madden. You know, we'll throw some Street Fighter in there because Street Fighter is a part of the culture as well. You know, if you watch Juice, you see Tupac playing Street Fighter, you know what I mean? All this other stuff. So it's like, those was cool, but all the other games, like, nah, like, we don't play those types of games. Like, you know what I'm saying? And me, like, I knew how to fight. So I was like, yo, y'all missing out. Y'all whack. You know, I ain't, that tease and bully stuff ain't work with me, dog. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like the fact of the matter is, it was one of those situations where, like, I couldn't share everything with my peoples. You know what I'm saying? When it came to games, I could only share certain things, and everything else I just kept to the chest. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was growing up. But with my grandmas, man, real talk. I remember one Christmas, my sister had got like 3 packs of Annihilators and put it in the freezer and wrapped it in aluminum foil, and she gave them to me, and I was like, thank you so much. And then she gave me my grandma gave me this other gift, and I was like, yo, what's this? Because it went with Annihilators, and it was Mickey Mouse, Castle of Illusions, Sega Genesis, bro. And I was like, what? Yo, all night playing Castle of Illusions, bro.
That was a great platformer. That was a great platformer.
Great game, man. And you know what I'm saying? So like that's like my life, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I remember these moments so clearly because of the effect, you know, the effect of gaming, you know, on my life. That's why when I see certain fanboys here and there, I'm like, yo, y'all don't understand what y'all missing, because I remember one Christmas, my grandma's came downstairs with a big red box. I opened it up and it was a Super Nintendo. Like, we wanted everything because we didn't have much. So we wanted everything. And whenever we got a chance to get everything, we was grateful. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be bugged out when people be like, I don't want this or I don't want that. What? Give it to me. I'll take it. Like that, you know what I'm saying? For real, dog. Like, you know, so that's how I was growing up, bro, with the homies and playing all the games and spending time with my grandma. Yo, that joint was life, bro. For real.
Absolutely. Shout out to the chat real quick. I just want to throw some respect to y'all way. I always appreciate you guys showing up. You guys are one of the reasons I do this. Not the only reason. I do this out of the love of gaming. I flat out just absolutely love it. Been doing this for a little over 2 years now. Love it.
Congratulations, man. Don't stop. Keep it going, son.
I appreciate it, brother. But to shout out a few people that just recently came into the chat. Tombo, what's cracking? Ray Chi, Matt Likes Games. Y'all big time supporters. Good to see you. Oh yeah, the Sly Crow. Man, it's just my screen big, but it's kind of far away now, y'all. And then Stank Mug, good to see you. He said, "All right, Ham, I see you, sir." The Sly Crow said, "You got hip hop in here with the whoa face, with the whoa face."
Salute. Word goes out. Y'all guys spin the chain for my man Sly. Salute. You know
yeah, man. I'm out here. I'm trying to make as many moves as I can. I mean, I got hip hop here. I had Seamus Blackley here. I had John Lennon. I try to bring on some variety, because not only do I have people that are like well known within gaming and stuff like that, I like to bring in people that are kind of smaller streamers and stuff like that as well, just to kind of help get them a little bit mixed up in my algorithm. So like, hey, you see Seamus, you see the Hip Hop Gamer. Well, you also see somebody like Matt Likes Games that has like 500 subs or something like that. You see all these other people too, and my hope is to get people curious to look into some of these other people that are some pretty good cats within the industry.
Gotcha.
Right? But to keep it moving, brother, I liked what you were saying about the whole school and people thought one thing was cool. I was around during that time. Sega Genesis, big time. Right, NBA Live, big time. Madden, NFL Sunday Night Football with Chris Berman, like greatest heavyweight boxing. You remember that stuff, right? My stepdad at the time, and all of his friends and whatnot, they kept me lit on the sports games, right? I had to take it upon myself to find like games like Road Rash and Desert Strike and like the Mickey Mouse Illusions and Skitchin and all these other games for Genesis that were fantastic back in the day. But I want to know how you kind of maneuvered, knowing that, hey, I ain't no fucking nerd, but I do play these nerdy looked at type games. So tell me what it was like in that like circle of friends. What was it like kind of, because I don't know, did you play basketball? Did you play football? Did you play sports at all?
Yeah, basketball, football, and I ran track. I was a gold medalist in school and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, like I do this. Like, so now the whole thing around like nerd and being a nerd and nerdy games, stuff like that. Yo, dog, I'm a nerd through and through. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I wasn't a nerd in the sense that the hood looks at it. See, like the way in the hood, when they look at a nerd, like you don't get no girls,
like a square,
and like, yeah, you corny, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm the kind of person where, like, first of all, like, you can't say none of those things to me because, one, like, we all got to pass, you know what I'm saying? So in those particular times, when I was younger coming up and stuff like that, you ain't gonna say those things to me because I'm gonna have to see you outside of school and you already know what's gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even have to deal with those particular things, but I knew what that stuff meant. You know what I mean? But people that did have to deal with those things, I would tell them like, yo, if this is what you like, this is what you like. And if you like something and they don't like it and they try to play you, you know who your friends are, you know who your friends aren't. Just stay away from them, and that's that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I, maneuvered in terms of that, like through school. So like one thing that like I mean, I'm not saying I'm proud of this, but what I'm saying is like if you don't stand up for yourself or defend yourself, then you'll get bullied every day. It only takes one time to get disrespected, in school. And then if you get disrespected in school and everybody know about it, then at school, out of school, every day when you seen on a block or whatever, they gonna get at you all the time. You ain't gonna have no peace in your own crib. You know what I'm saying? In your own area. So nip that in the bud immediately. Ain't nobody like, doing that stuff to me. But the cool thing about it was that there were certain people I was able to put on to like other things. And then they was like, oh shoot, that's dope. And then what started to happen is people started to like embrace things, but privately. So like they didn't want everybody else to know that, Dragon Ball Z is fire. Like, they didn't want nobody
they didn't want
else
to get caught slipping.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, y'all bugging. We grew up with Bionic 6 and G.I. Joes and Transformers and Thundercats. Like, what are we doing here? I ran home to watch the Disney Afternoon, you know what I'm saying, with Tailspin and Darkwing Duck and all this other stuff. Like, this is what we do.
Those
so
classic Ninja Turtle shows and whatnot. Yeah.
All of that. So over time, the gaming side of things started to get cooler because people started to see the connection between the cartoons and the culture and everything like that. And it started to eventually get cooler. And then my name is Hip Hop Gamer. So even in the culture of hip hop, like it took a long time to like break through that. You know what I'm saying? But eventually that started to change. And now here we are today. I'm just humbled and blessed that I was the person to lead the way with a brand name, Hip Hop Gamer, that was designed to be the embodiment of both cultures as one. So yeah.
Man. Phenomenal, man. You squared that away. I guess the next thing I'm kind of wondering is like, so I'm guessing gaming at this point, like let's say middle school. Okay, right? Gaming at this point was what, an everyday thing?
Of course. You kidding me?
Okay.
Actually gaming helped me do better in school. I'm gonna tell you why. There was this one year I got a report card, right? And it had 6 U's on it, 6 unsatisfactories on it. And I don't mind if I got a beating, I ain't care. Like I don't mind getting a beating, just don't take the game away from me. So I used to get beatings, but I would still have my games. So I was like, yo, whatever, the pain gonna go away. I'm still have my games. And then what happened is I got that report card, son, and my pops beat me and took the game away from me, son. Son, when the game got taken away from me, like it did something to me. Like it activated a different type of like part of the brain. Cause in my mind, I can't beat up my father. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't like the stuff that you use in the street ain't gonna work in his household. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like none of that. So I'm like, yo, like this ain't it. Like this is not the move. So yeah, I became a good student real quick. I didn't care what nobody said. They be like, oh son, you a punk, son. Like, first of all, like, one, I ain't no punk. 2, I'm trying to get good grades. 3, I ain't trying to be stupid. And 4, most importantly, I want my games back. Y'all bugging. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, son, I care about none of that, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at an early age, I started to look, I'm just keeping it real with you, man. A lot of people ain't built for that. You know what I'm saying? Because people were raised different, grew up in different environments. So a lot of times somebody say something to somebody or society puts something on you, you start to believe that and it seeps into your mind and you don't know how to block out all the noise. You become what you hate and you become a product of your environment for real. And that's going to put you dead or in jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real. So I'm blessed, so blessed that my grandmother always continued to feed me the Bible and feed me the Bible and feed me the Bible. And as I got older, after all the rebellion, you know, I'm at such peace, you know, in my life overall. But it took a lot for me to get there. But yeah, son, gaming got me to do better in school, and I didn't want to miss out on my games, bro. Real talk. So it's serious with me. For
Yeah,
real.
that's fantastic. Geek Life, Mike. Good to see you up in the chat. What's cracking?
Oh, shout out to my brother Geek Life Mike in the building. That's what I'm
Yep.
talking
Yeah,
about,
he said
son.
let's
Locked
he said
in on
let's
that
go hip hop,
TSWS.
my guy. Much love to you and Ham.
All
Appreciate it.
day, son. Yeah, Geek Life Mike,
Appreciate it.
that's my bro. Love you, man. Real talk, son.
Absolutely. I now want to know, like, like we got through some of the emotional moments early on within
Right.
gaming for you and whatever. Now I kind of want to go kind of dominoed through the consoles and stuff that you kind of had as you were a kid. So you said that you had like the Ataris, like the different type of Ataris,
Yep.
the Sega, the
Yep.
Nintendo and whatnot. So I'm wondering, like, during the time where you were starting to, I don't even know, like the late 90s, when things really started to pop off and, there were consoles everywhere from the 3DO to the Sega Saturn to
Yep.
the, PlayStation. Where was your direction at that age? Like, what was like the fascinating console that was out at that time?
PlayStation. Hands
Okay.
down, son. PlayStation took it to a whole nother level. I'm gonna tell you why. So, my cousin, shout out to my cousin Jason, he put me on the PlayStation. Cause before PlayStation, it was just straight up Sega, Nintendo, Sega, Nintendo, Sega, Nintendo. Cause Panasonic 3DO, that stuff, I really didn't get into that too much. Neo Geo, loved it, but it was too expensive, so I could never afford
Jaguar?
it. I never had it. No, Neo Geo. Atari, Jaguar was Atari.
No. I know. I was asking maybe the Jaguar. Did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't have the
Okay.
Jaguar, bro. Never had a Jaguar. I mean, I got it now. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have it then. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy thing about all of that was when my cousin came over with PlayStation, everything changed, bro. So now I'm all getting ready for Sega Saturn, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Getting ready for Nintendo 64 and everything. My cousin come over with PlayStation, right?
Uh-oh.
The first game I played on PlayStation was this game called Loaded. It was a top-down game. It was called Loaded. It came with the demo
Them guns
disc,
in
the
that game are
Underground.
crazy.
Yeah, crazy. I was like, yo, this joint is fire. Then I played Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that, right? I played no. I'm lying. It was Jumping Flash. Jumping Flash. It was on a demo disc. I played Jumping Flash. I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope. It's all right. I played Ridge Racer. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Ridge Racer was nuts.
Yep, but then I played Battle Arena Toshinden.
Shout out to Lemon Lemetheus, 108 Dragons out here with the $2 super chat.
Dragons in the building. Lemon all day. That's my dude. You already know what it is, son. Brooklyn, stand up, baby. Now,
yeah, absolutely. He said my brother Hip Hop Gainer has entered the building. Love you, bro.
Love you, dog. So, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, Battle Arena Toshinden. I was like, yo, this system is different. This is crazy. Then I played Tekken on it. I was like, yo, PlayStation is different. And then when PlayStation came out with the DualShock control,
tell them about it. Because
like,
before it didn't have them sticks and those and the L1 and the R1 and all those were just tiny little buttons. That DualShock came out, it felt like power.
Yep.
It felt like power.
But what solidified the fandom of PlayStation for me? 1997. Final Fantasy 7. When that came through, it was over. Because you got to think about it, man. PlayStation had everything, bro. Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy 7, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, NBA Live. the disc,
MK
just the
Trilogy was
disc.
nasty.
I used to play Ridge Racer, and I would open the disc without turning power off, take the Ridge Racer game out after it loaded up, and
Here we go.
Put a music CD in, close it up, and play the game to the music. Dog.
People didn't know about them crazy those crazy tricks you could do with some of the games. It was nuts.
Ain't nobody ready for PlayStation. PlayStation impacted my life so much that, like, a friend of mine, this is my homegirl, right? So real true story. So you can understand the power of PlayStation, son. So I got robbed, right? My house got robbed, right? They took my PlayStation. Dog. So you already know where I'm at. Like my mind, my heart, my soul, everything is crumbled. I don't want to talk to nobody. My world is done. Like, that's the way I'm feeling, right? So my homegirl, she lived in the projects across the street from me, picking projects, right? She had a PlayStation, and she don't play no games and like that, but she just had it. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, yo, can I borrow it? She's like, yeah, take it. I don't care. Like, I was like, word. All right. So that made me care about her on a whole nother level. I was like, I love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I always loved you. Like, I just let you say. So I got the PlayStation, right? So it was like 3 months later. And here's the messed up part. It's Christmas time now. I had it for 3 months already. It's Christmas time. I'm out of school, so I can play a lot more. She hits me up talking about she need the PlayStation back because her family's coming over and their nephews and stuff want to play it. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. You see how my voice pitch is right now, son? I ain't care. Like, no, so I sound Chris Tucker all day. I'm like, nope. Like,
what's wrong with you?
I'm like, I ain't home. Yeah, exactly. I ain't home. No, I'm never coming back home. Like, I can't be like my phone dead. Like, I was trying to make up everything, son. So then it got to the point where she like came to the crib, and I looked at her like, so you gonna come here? Like, you gonna really come here? Like, to get the PlayStation? Like, I really felt it was mine. Like, you don't like it. Like, what are we doing? Come on. I had to give it back, bro. It felt, you know what it felt like? It felt like, let's say you mad hungry, right? You ain't eat nothing all day. And you only got $5, and you go across the street and you get 4 chicken wings and fried rice with the dollar juice, the big 50-cent juice, you know what I'm saying? And you about to go in on your food, and somebody come through and knock it out your hand or something like that. Or your feet on the floor. That's how I felt when she came to get the PlayStation, son. Why she do that, B? You know what I mean? Like you don't do that. You break a man's heart like that. Like, you don't do that. So then what happened is, when she left and took the PlayStation, like, I didn't even want to give her the wires, bro. I didn't even want to give her the wires. So I was like, yo, you figure it out. Like, you know, I felt tight. Son.
He was salty.
Yeah. So then what happened is, like, I still had to keep in mind that, you know, she in the projects though. Like, so if I couldn't, you know, it get crazy. So what happened is, Christmas was like a week away, and they got me a PlayStation for Christmas, man. And man, I cried. I did the worm dance. I did all types of stuff. You
hit the floor and did the worm.
Yeah, I hit the floor and did the worm. I cried in front of everybody. I didn't even care. I cried in front of everybody. I opened up that PlayStation, son, and I cried, bro. I cried, son. So yeah, man. Those are my PlayStation stories, son. So, like,
my man was down
like, real
bad.
gamer all day, son. Real gamer all day, bro. For real, I'm on a different level, son.
You're down treacherous. Danger Boy said, hip hop, you lucky she ain't punch you.
Yeah, I am lucky she ain't punched me in the face, because she thorough. Like, she a project chick. You know what I'm saying? She's like, she thorough. She was one of the ones. But, like, you know, we was fam. Like, you know what I mean? So she understood, you know, but yeah, so I didn't want her to take her PlayStation back.
The love for PlayStation was real. So, like, continuing on through after PlayStation, you know, was starting to get all sewed up, you start to see them commercials for that PS2 start to roll around. But before that even touches down, Sega says, "We ain't done yet." Were you there? Were you going back to Sega for one last shot? Or did you just say, nah, PlayStation got me?
Bro, what's my name, son? Hip Hop Gamer. I'm a gamer. Remember, I told you I want everything. I ain't dumb like yo, bro. Like a lot of the fanboys where we don't want. No, look, I got my system of preference, but I ain't stupid. I want everything.
Facts.
I'm a gamer, bro. So let me tell you. And this is another situation. I got stories for days like this, dog.
What up, graphics?
So Sega Dreamcast, right? I wasn't able to get Sega Dreamcast on day one, but I eventually got it, obviously. But I wasn't able to get it day one. But here's the deal. Let me tell you the real story. Oh, yo, you asking some questions. So let me tell you what happened, right? I'm gonna tell you how I got my Dreamcast. I'm gonna tell you how I got my Dreamcast.
This is sounding a little messy right now.
Yeah, so let me tell you, right? So let me tell you what happened, right? So my boy, right? He got Dreamcast first out of all of us, right? You know what I'm saying? And like his parents was loaded. They always had money, right? So, but he wasn't allowed to have company at his house. So I was like, don't come. So I'm like, don't come to school talking about nothing with Dreamcast, and we can't even come over. Like, don't. I want to hear nothing about how happy you are. I'm selfish right now. I don't care about nothing your happiness if I can't share in it. Period. Like, I was like that, back then. So then, so he comes to school one day and says, "Yo, you gotta come to the crib and see Dreamcast." I'm like, "What? You for real?" So I ain't go straight home after that. You know what I'm saying? After school, we went to his crib. Dog, I played NFL 2K for the first time. Oh,
talk about
graphics. The graphics in that moment, yo, I played Ready to Rumble. I played Sonic Adventure. When the bus and you going down. Oh. Then I played NBA 2K. Allen Iverson on the front cover. Oh, doing the car. Oh, I was like, yo, I played Power Stone. Dude, and then he said, "Yo, y'all gotta get ready to go." And I was like, "What?" Like, yo,
what you mean I gotta leave?
What you mean I gotta exactly, sir? I gotta leave? You serious? You can't bring me here and tell me I gotta leave. And I left, but in my mind, I was like, he can't beat me. Like, I could beat him up. Like I can, but that I ain't gonna do it. Like, you know what I mean? So like I left. You know what I mean? I left. But I was so grateful. Though. I ain't gonna front. I was grateful. So then after that experience, I was like, I gotta get the Dreamcast. I gotta get it.
Oh boy.
Like, I gotta get it. Now keep in mind, you know what I'm saying? It's 1999. I'm still in high school. You know what I'm saying? I graduated in high school in 2000, so I'm still in high school. So I ain't got no job, like that, you know what I'm saying? So in times it's rough. So I'm like, yo, I gotta get this. So one of my friends from school had an older sister that liked me, bro. And she was like in college and stuff like that. Right? She had an older sister.
Where this is going.
Yo, she had an older sister that liked me. She had her own apartment, credit cards, all of that, right? So I'm like, okay, all right. So I was like, you know what? Like, set it up so we can have a conversation, so we can talk and we can meet and stuff like that. Met up with her and everything, went out on a date and everything like that. Hey, she was really into me. So we just having a conversation and like just talking about what I wanted to do after high school and what she wanted to do and stuff like that. Now that she, in college and what her goals are. And she was like, "Oh, don't worry about nothing. I'll take care of you." And I was like, really? Okay. So then she got her credit cards and everything like that. Dog, She literally said, "We going shopping today." She took me to
She
get
ain't get you that white
Dreamcast.
box. She ain't get you that
Bro,
white box.
she took me to get Dreamcast, all the games. Bro, she had to spend like $700 that one day on her credit card for me to get all the games that I wanted and everything. Like, fed me all of that. Yo, I was super lit. I was so happy, so grateful. I was like, yo, whatever you want to do, we do it. You got me Dreamcast. Yo, I'm like, whatever you want to do, we can do it. I was emotional, bro. I was
broken.
emotional. Yo, when like if she called me, I'm like, yo, she called like what? Hi, baby. How you doing? What you need? Like, yo, I was like, yo, she got me Dreamcast. I thought she was the greatest thing ever happened in the world. Like for real. So that's how I got my Dreamcast. And then but then afterwards that ain't work. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and stuff like that. That ended. Let's just leave it
She
at
ain't
that.
asked for it back, did she?
You know what I'm saying? No, she ain't asked for it back. If she did, she wasn't getting it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's mine. Nah. You know what I'm saying? You done. So but yeah, that was that. But yeah, that's how I got my first Dreamcast, bro. So yeah, very thankful to her for getting me the Dreamcast.
A story never forgotten out of that situation. That's something. Dangerous voice out here saying we gotta call him Pimp Hop Gamer now.
yo, Danger, you crazy, son. Nah, but but this is what I be saying. Like people, like when people be seeing my excitement, they don't understand. Like this is since I was 4. Like since I was 4 years old, I've been like on games just like this. Think about it. Like I'm 40 now. This is since I was 4 years old. Like my passion for games has always been there. Never left. Only got stronger.
You look like a young brother for being 40 years old. So congratulations on taking care of yourself, health as well.
Thank you.
You did well, sir.
Thank you. Come on, man. You already know we gotta make it happen, baby. Gotta make it happen, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. So the Dreamcast was hot. You got all the games from what it seemed like fairly early on.
Yeah.
You got to see it rise and die.
Yeah.
So once you kind of started to notice that downhill slope happening with the Sega Dreamcast, I want you to be honest. Were you eyeballing, like, were you playing Dreamcast, but you seen PlayStation, and you were like, I'm just playing this right now? Or was it more or less like, I'm on Dreamcast right now? And I know you answered this question a little bit ago. You're like, who am I? I'm Hip Hop Gamer, right? But I want to know how quick it was that you were like, got to get that PlayStation. Was it like that PlayStation 2? Was it immediately when it came out, or were you satisfied a little while with the Dreamcast for a bit? What happened?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I don't think I ever gave this answer on a show before. So check this out, right? So in high school, I went to Thomas Jefferson High School, right? So I've been like researching, like, what's so funny, man? Now that I think about it, since 1999, I've been doing like journalism type of work in the gaming, not in the industry and not like that, but in terms of the way I used to research. So I didn't just go to like websites like Game Fan and IGN and Game Inform. I didn't just go to those websites to just look at news and that's it. Like I've always researched like games and technology and everything all the way back to 1999, like for real. Probably even before that, because my grandmother used to order the Prima strategy guides because Lara Croft is her favorite character ever and Tomb Raider is her favorite game.
Shout out to grandma.
So she was a hardcore gamer herself, like I said. So my grandmother, she started to write her own strategy guides because there was things that she would find out in the game that wasn't in the strategy guide. So she would write her own strategy guides out so she could always know certain things that Prima strategy guides didn't have in their books. That's when I really knew, like, I started doing a lot of research on things. Because one thing about me when I was younger, especially, I ain't go front, I always wanted to be right. I had a need to be right when I was younger. And the reason why is because I just got tired of people telling me what to do all the time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people tell me what to do, but whenever I ask a question about what they want me to do, they just tell me, just do what I say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody never gave me an answer or spoke to me like I was a human. You know what I'm saying?
That's the proper adult answer, is just do what I say,
do what I
not
say.
as I do,
Yeah.
type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was always faced with that. You know what I'm saying? Growing up. But it wasn't just like, you know, from a parental standpoint, from an adult standpoint as a child, when I would have genuine, real questions, if they didn't have the answer, they would just shun me as a child and just say, do as I say, or listen to your elders. But you ain't like, so you
still
tell me
have
you
the
can't
question.
be wrong too? You know what I'm saying? So you wasn't allowed to question nobody. Like it, you know, it can be frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So what happened is I started like questioning, you know, a lot of things and in my research and stuff like that. And that led me to understand some things about PlayStation 2 beyond just the game itself, but the technology, what was in it, and what was coming. So I started researching the emotion engine and stuff like that inside the PlayStation 2, the vector units inside the PlayStation 2 and stuff like that. I started researching, like there was this demo called Mental Wealth that they had running, showing the possible power of what PlayStation can do and or PlayStation 2 can do and all this other stuff. And I was like, wow, like this sounds way more powerful than Sega Dreamcast. And I was surprised because Sega Dreamcast, when they showed off Shenmue, I was like, ain't nothing looking better than this. Ain't nothing topping Shenmue. Like, this is it. But the more and more I started to see PlayStation 2, and then they started showing off Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, what that looked like from that trailer on the bridge and all these other things, I was like, wow, PlayStation 2 is no joke. So yeah, man, when PlayStation 2 came around, I was like, yo, it's over. Because one, Dreamcast only had one analog stick, not two. That was a big deal with the PlayStation 2 having two analog sticks. Two, PlayStation 2, they was trying to do their online better and stuff like that when they had the detachable HDD and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? When they was
You had to
introducing
screw that sucker
SOCOM.
into the back.
Yeah. Yep. When they was introducing SOCOM. So that was crazy and stuff like that. And then I noticed that PlayStation 2 was getting all the games that nobody else had. You know what I'm saying? And then once Grand Theft Auto San Andreas hit, goodbye. It was over. Like it's curtains. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else to talk about. When GTA San Andreas hit, show's over. You know what I mean? So I still rock with Dreamcast still to this day. I play the games, whatever. But at that time, nah, bro. PlayStation. And what's so funny is PlayStation 2, when it launched, it wasn't even that good of a launch. They had Fantavision, Madden wasn't better than 2K, and NBA Live wasn't better than NBA 2K. And they didn't have much. They had Kessen, this game called Kessen, which was like a fake Dynasty Warriors. That wasn't good at all. Like, they didn't have good games when they came out day one. Dreamcast still to this day have one of the best launches ever. So my thing is, it's like
They had too many games.
PS2, yeah, even when PS2 dropped, they still was struggling. But the power of the brand name and the fact that you could play all your PS1 games on PS2,
Yep.
they won
Memory card too.
Memory card, all that stuff. It was over. PlayStation 2 had it.
Yep. Memory card, controllers, and it had a DVD drive in it.
Yep, the DVD took it to a whole nother level, and you know what I'm saying.
Really
And then I ain't gonna front, like because of the DVD, PlayStation 2 became more of a entertainment device as opposed to a gaming system, and it was marketed as an entertainment device.
It was.
And entertainment was for all ages, not just kids, and that's when gaming really took a big shift to what we see today. Gaming is now entertainment. It's just like WWF going to WWE. World Wrestling Federation meant that wrestling was only for wrestling fans. But when they became WWE, wrestling is for everyone. And that's when everything went to the next level. That's why we got Bad Bunny flying everywhere and Mike Tyson back in the day fighting Stone Cold. That's when you see all of that stuff coming to fruition. And that's why it's huge. And that's why PlayStation is number one still to this day.
I feel that. So now, I mean, we're seeing a wild time in gaming itself. I mean, back then it was wild. Sure, right?
Right.
Along comes a new challenger to the ring. Dreamcast is fading away as something else is fading in. And I see that X on your shirt, bruh. I see that X on your shirt. Talk about it now. The OG Xbox, when it launched, those big old controllers, the DVD drive that they had in it, but you had to, I believe you had to buy the DVD remote for it. The internal hard drive, the ability to be able to rip music onto it. Having internet capabilities that start with Ethernet. Xbox Live is born in this generation. Please tell me about your introduction to Xbox while knowing that PlayStation, they ain't slowing down for nobody.
Right. So for me, bro, when I seen Xbox for the first time, I ain't gonna front, it threw me off. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Microsoft is PC, and keep in mind, Xbox came out in 2001. I got my first ever PC in 2000 because I got a Pell Grant from college that allowed me to get a PC. But when I got a PC, it was for work. Like, it was for schoolwork and stuff like that, surfing the internet. It wasn't to play games on.
The games you had was Solitaire and Minesweeper.
Yeah, Solitaire and stuff like that. I never played no PC games on, I didn't even know nothing about graphics cards and NVIDIA and AMD with the IT and, ATIs and stuff like that. I ain't know nothing about those things in those times. I'm keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? All I knew was consoles, and all I knew was PlayStation is the best. Ain't nobody could touch it, period. That's where I was at. Sega Dreamcast, Sega, they no longer doing hardware. They're doing software, so they out. Nintendo, I love Nintendo, but Nintendo was like secondary system to me. PlayStation all the way. That's where we at. So Xbox comes through. First thing that I see with Microsoft is I'm like, they're trying to be something that they're not. So I honestly didn't pay that much attention to it. I see Bill Gates. I see a lot of money, but I'm looking at this big doofy controller. Ain't nobody about to play that. Ain't nobody using that. And when I saw the games and stuff like that, I saw like NFL Fever and stuff like that. And I was like, it looked good. Don't get me wrong, it looked good, but Madden is it to me. You know what I'm saying? Madden is it. And then I saw wait, what's that game? That is not coming to me. But it was I don't want to jump to Halo right now. There was Brute Force. There's a game called Brute Force, and when I see that,
and whatnot on it.
Yes, Brute Force, and I was like, oh, okay, that look alright. That look alright. Okay, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Conquer, Bad Fur Day. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Conquer that I seen for Xbox, and I was like, yo, this looks kind of dope too. But then it happened. And then it was Halo Combat Evolved.
Talk about
That's what made me pay attention to Xbox. I'm like, Halo look crazy. Wait, they got online? Wait, Xbox Live? Wait, a hard drive in this joint? What? And then I was like, wait, Splinter Cell. Hold on, they're supposed to go head on against my man Solid Snake. What's Sam Fisher doing? You know what I'm saying? Siphon Filter done packed up. So, Gabe Logan ain't around. I'm like, yo, what's going on? So, bro, I was like, yo, Microsoft, they might got something. And they got money. Hold on. This might be real. So at first, I didn't get Xbox day one or nothing like that. But I'm a gamer, bro. So I was like, you know what? Let me just get, Xbox, because I kept reading about it, reading about the games, reading about what it could do and all this other stuff. I was like, yo, I gotta get this Xbox. Here's when everything changed for me. So my boy, shout out to my boy Goofy. His real name is Jerome, but we call him Goofy. He had an Xbox, right? He came to my crib and brought Xbox over, right? Now, this is when EA Sports made the announcement that they're going to be bringing their games to Xbox. So I see NFL 2K, and I see a bunch of other games, and I see how they look and played and ran on Xbox in comparison to how they look and played and ran on PlayStation 2. Xbox was blowing PlayStation 2 out the water when it came to third-party games, from graphics and performance, all of that. I was fast. Load times. I was like, yo, the Xbox games run better than the PlayStation 2 games? Wow. I had to get an Xbox. And ever since then, I've been like, yo, Xbox is real. It's here to stay if they want it. But I became a fan immediately. They was giving me something that PlayStation wasn't when it came to that part. And you had to respect it. I became a fan, and you see the Xbox shirt, we lit. Let's go. Facts.
Fantastic. So tell me, what was it like balancing those two? Did you have both consoles at the same time?
Of course I did. I had everything at the same time. But what happened is I would play my third-party games on Xbox, and I would play my exclusives on PlayStation 2. But I'm a big fan of Game Shark, Code Breaker, Action Replay Max, and stuff like that. So what I started doing was I would get games on Xbox, but I would copy games on PlayStation 2. So what I would do is I would go to Blockbuster Video, get all the games, and use DVD decryptor to decrypt them and put it on a modded PS2. So I had all my PS2 games with the cheat codes on them, and I was getting my PS2 games, free. And I had my Xbox games in terms of those that ran better and performed better, so I could see the difference and they had those experiences. So, yep, facts, dog. I do this. Word up. I do this.
Wild. Mr. Joanna Dark, what's cracking? Good to see you.
I'm a one of one, son. I'm a one of one, son. It's different. And you want to know why? Because the average dude that you're going to talk about, like in the hood, that's in the industry like this, to hear them talk like how I talk is like foreign. Even still to this day in a lot of ways. So that's why I'll be like, yo, I love like what I'm doing because it's still like for real? Like for real? It still has like my existence has shock value, period. Simply because of the journey. Like I really live this, bro. Facts.
All right, so now let's hop into the next generation. I obviously want to lead up to our current generation, so let's tackle a few of these generations prior. So 360, PS3. Did you have both?
Did I have? Of course, I had both. Look, I'm gonna just answer your questions early. I have had everything. Right now, as we speak, I got everything. When I tell you I got everything,
Wii U.
I have every single game. I got everything.
Excuse me, sir.
All of it. All of it. I even got my ROG Ally right here. I got everything. I'm a gamer. I have it all. Even mobile games. I have it all. But when it comes to 360 and PS3, now that was special. I'm going to tell you why that was special. Because 360 was better than PlayStation 3 when it came down to third party and development and stuff like that. One of the biggest moments for 360 was when Madden 08 came out. And Madden 08 was so much better than the PlayStation 3 version of Madden 08. It was disgusting. Like Madden 08 on PlayStation 3 was like 30, 40 frames per second, constantly dipping. Madden on Xbox 360 was clean, 60 frames per second. Everything was fire, fast, smooth. No. 360 had it all. Had it all. It was amazing. And at that time, you gotta remember PS3, when PS3 dropped with Resistance, even though Resistance is one of the dopest games ever made, I love it. 40 player online, that joint was crazy day one. When it came out, they going up against Gears of War. Gears of War 2, I think, at that. Nah, bro. It was crazy. 360 had it all, man. It was amazing. The marketing was great. Like the games was great. The exclusives was fire. The controller was amazing. Everybody was behind it. Like the community was there. Like 360 was an era, bro. That was amazing. PS3 dropped the ball a lot. But I'll tell you this though. When PlayStation drops in exclusives, it don't matter what nobody else do. PlayStation is in a league of its own, bro. And that's why they never lost a generation to their direct competitor, meaning Xbox. And Xbox never won a generation. And obviously they never will. They already said that they lost this one. And that was through their mouth. Shout out to my bro, Phil Spencer. God bless him. So at the end of the day, man, that era with 360 PS3, it was a fun era. It was amazing. 360 had a better third parties, obviously. They had incredible exclusives to go head to head against PlayStation. But I'm telling you, man, PlayStation 3, when you got The Last of Us, when you got Uncharted, when you got God of War, when you got Little Big Planet, like PlayStation introduced new genres that's never been seen before in the gaming industry. Like PlayStation different, bro. PlayStation is different, man. Ain't nobody touching PlayStation. Even now, man. No, PlayStation is to think that Nintendo tried to do PlayStation dirty and do something sneaky behind their back. And PlayStation said, you know what? You try to get us, we're going to come into the industry that you dominate and we're going to beat everybody. And do it? PlayStation been out since 1994. Remember, the first PlayStation was a black PlayStation. Since 1994 in Japan, when PlayStation first came out. And we're in 2023. And they've dominated ever since.
Almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years. PlayStation is Apple and Android in one. Ain't nobody touching PlayStation, bro. Ain't nobody touching PlayStation, bro.
So, yeah, because they had a pretty dominating way to come back after being down for so long. Obviously, Xbox came out earlier than PlayStation, took all the air out of the room, and then, PlayStation had to come in and bring their own.
They had a year. Think about it. Xbox. You know what Xbox did? So you see how all right. Here's a great analogy. So you see how you can have do you remember the Super Bowl where it was Atlanta versus I think the Patriots?
Yeah, that was devastating.
Atlanta was up by
way too much
touchdowns against Tom Brady. Tom Brady in like a quarter and a half beat them for the Super Bowl, and they was down by 3 touchdowns, and it was like a quarter and a half. You remember when Tracy McGrady was down by I think like over 10 points, and it was 30 seconds left, and he won the game.
Threes. Just draining them.
Xbox 360 had everything in their favor to win. There's no way you can lose this situation globally. And PlayStation activated their Tracy McGrady. PlayStation activated their Tom Brady. And I never seen a system have a year head start, better online, better third party, better pricing, incredible exclusives, support from the developers, strong community. They had everything you can give them. They had the cheat code activated and still lose.
Mr. Joanna Dark said, like Reggie Miller's did to the Knicks.
Like Reggie Miller did to the Knicks. Like what Reggie Miller did to the Knicks. When you think about that, it goes to show that Xbox at their best couldn't beat PlayStation at their worst.
It's wild to think.
That's facts.
Wild to think. And now going into the next generation, I mean, obviously, a lot of people agree that, you know, Xbox had a pretty great lineup. PlayStation had a pretty rough lineup. But Xbox really marketed themselves poorly going into that generation in 2013. Of course, I already know because you answered the question for me so many times if you had both consoles, right? So I don't even need to ask that question. So with that being said, you really enjoyed the Xbox the previous generation. Although PlayStation may have crowned itself by the end of that generation, a lot of that mind share was still with Xbox heavy, right? Because a lot of people still love
in America. Because don't forget, Xbox did beat PlayStation in America, but globally they didn't. They lost.
Correct. And yeah, they were still down, you know, not getting a whole lot of consoles sold overseas compared to here, sure. But like us being here in America, we were just like, yo, everybody and their mama seemed to have a 360. Right? So going into the next generation with the $500 console that comes with the Kinect, and then the PlayStation, which is more powerful, yet it is cheaper than the Xbox by like $1, by a whole $100. What was your kind of like what was your thoughts, and where were you kind of mentally during this time period where both consoles are coming out? Like what were you doing? Where was your life at that time?
So we're talking 2013, right?
Right.
So 2013, wow, this is crazy. 2013, my son was born.
Okay.
Yeah, my son was born. You know what I'm saying? And me and my son, we share a birthday, November 27th, 2013. Well, not me, but I'm saying November 27th is me and my son's birthday. You know what I'm saying? So we share a birthday. And so when that happened, it was so funny because I was just at Summer Games Fest and I shared the story with my man Paris, my boy Danny Penna, my homegirl Keisha, and Alicia, and who else was with us? Andrea Renee, and it was somebody else that was with us too. I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, that was an interesting year for me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because having a son like that year, it was crazy. And what's so funny is I brought my PlayStation to the hospital. So like I was playing the game until Marcus came out. You know what I'm saying? Like
I did the same thing.
Yeah, I was playing the game. I was playing the game. You know what I'm saying? And then they was like, yo, it's time. All right, cool. Put this on pause real quick. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? I was all emotional and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then, then my son's a gamer as well. So, but anyway, that was an interesting year because my son was born. And what's crazy about PlayStation and Xbox is you could tell that when Xbox initially was showing off their system, they were speaking a lot about television and moving away from what we came to see, which was the games. And what's so crazy about that is when PlayStation was showing off their stuff, they was like, yo, like, we got Mark Cerny on this. This is a gamer's machine through and through from the ground up. We're going to introduce share play, get everything social out the gate with the share button and all this other stuff. Like, PlayStation went in. You know what I'm saying? Now here's the crazy situation with PlayStation. I was in the building with that moment when PlayStation announced their price, and it was $100 cheaper. And Jack Trenton, shout out to my boy Jack Trenton, he was on stage. Bro, when I tell you, Hans, that was one of the best, most epic moments in the history of gaming. To be in the auditorium. And I was one of the dudes that started to chant. When I was like, Sony, 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 held the belt up and everything, it was nuts in there, bro. It was crazy. And when they said we won't make you use the used games, and Microsoft had the DRM problems.
Yeah, had how to share games.
Out the gate, Xbox was done. And I'm going to tell you why Xbox was done out the gate. Because PlayStation learned their lesson from PS3. And remember, I told you, Xbox at their best couldn't beat PlayStation at their worst. So now you got somebody that almost lost, that learned from their mistake, and you starting off rocky, and they starting off right. It's gonna be a tough generation. And obviously it was.
It really
PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 was something special, man. They killed it, man. It was crazy, man. It was dope. They killed it. So at the end of the day, then they brought the VR on. They brought the PlayStation, man. They killed it. So in that particular moment, out the gate, Xbox had no chance. Simply because the way it started, Xbox had no chance.
Yeah, they took an immediate step right at the beginning of the generation in the wrong direction, while PlayStation was running off of the blocks.
It was over. Because the problem is what people got to understand is, cool factor matters. Being down with the cool crowd, that matters. So if everybody is rocking with PlayStation, then when you look at Xbox, it's like, I don't know if I should. It's not popping over there right now. We're going to hang out with PlayStation right now. You know what I'm saying? And then, so the mind share, like you talked about before with Xbox 360, the mind share in America changed just like that, from price point and used games and the games they had to show, crazy out the gate. So that did it, man. Those critical moves right there, that did it. So that right there was something special, man.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Joy in the Dark. He said, I think it was the messaging as well that doomed Xbox One, along with the pricing. 100%. The pricing.
Don Matrick came out and said, just play the Xbox One then. Like, or just just keep your 360 around or something like that. He said something along those lines where it's like, it is what it is. And I'm like, it's over now. Just by that statement, it's over. You can't
now
act
you're stepping on customers when you talk like that.
Yeah, and you can't act like you all of that when your customers got options. See, like Madden right now, they can do whatever they want to do because there's no option because they got the exclusivity rights for the NFL license. But if NFL 2K was still around, like how NBA 2K is,
I wish
Madden wouldn't be operating the way it's been operating for the past 10 years. You see what I'm saying? So, like, competition is necessary. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I want everybody to be successful. At the same time, you can't deny that PlayStation is number one by far.
So, speaking of competition, now we're going to go into the current generation. Xbox making their surge back, however way that they possibly can, doing that with the means of PC as well as trying to do different ways of getting people to play. So they put cloud gaming on TVs and stuff like that, right? So they're doing everything that they can. PlayStation doing what they do. They're dropping games and stuff like that. What was the launch of this current generation like for you? Were you day one? Because we already know that you got both, right? But did you have those pre-orders ready and taken care of and just ready to stop at the store and pick up your joint?
What's my name?
Got it. All right. Anyways. All right. So with that being said, so you had the consoles right from the jump.
Yep.
Spider-Man Miles Morales was there, ready to go. I love that game myself. I platinumed that game. That was fantastic. Spider-Man Miles Morales was a great game. And I'm looking forward to the newest one now. When you seen that happen with PlayStation coming out and they had, a few games to play that, Demon Souls, yada, yada. How was your feeling towards the Xbox after the last generation? But, seeing that Don left, Phil took over. A few years later, Phil then drops his Xbox One X. That console, a lot of us within the Xbox community felt like that console didn't really get pushed as much as we really wanted to see it, right? So them coming out with the Series X now, but we still have this situation with games where they're now leaning hard, which is the opposite of what they were doing at the beginning of the Xbox One generation. They're leaning hard into retro games, backwards compatibility, different ways to play and stuff like that. But the problem still remained when it came to first party releases. And one of the most catastrophic things was Halo. Right? Mm-hmm. So you get your Xbox, may have had Master Chief on it or whatever, but you ain't getting no Master Chief. How was you feeling with the Xbox and, the PlayStation, having them both at that time?
First of all, there was no contest at all. It wasn't even honestly, you can't even mention PlayStation and Xbox in the same sentence. Period. I'm gonna tell you why. PlayStation out the gate, Demon Souls, which is an amazing game, but I'm only gonna play it if Demon Souls come to PC and I can use my cheat codes. Yo, shot the plitch, because I got time to be dying all day, so I need infinite health. So keeping it real, but that game is fire. That's one. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, incredible graphics, everything out the gate. Out the gate. PlayStation showed me why I brought PlayStation 5. Day one, out the gate. From the controls to how it feels. Yo, Astrobot. Astro's Playroom, whatever.
Yeah, it came with the console.
Yeah, it came with it. That game alone, fire. That joint is amazing. And on top of that, it showed off what the system was marketed to do out the gate. So out the gate, you got Spider-Man, you got Demon Souls, you got the Astro joint, all different types of games from one another. So you got variety out the gate and stuff like that. And then obviously you got the PS5 versions of the PS4 titles that you could run on there, which made them run better and perform better. So that right there was a major plus and stuff like that. And then another thing which is very, very interesting is when it comes to Xbox, everything that was marketed to be most powerful console, but the PlayStation 5 versions of games is running better than the Series X and the Series S. That's a problem. That's one. Two, you got two machines. That's a problem right there. Because now you got to make sure you make stuff that works on both. That's problematic. As opposed to PlayStation, they got one system to focus on, which maximizes the development talent that you invest in, which means you have a better percentage chance of getting ROI, high level ROI back on your investments, because you got one system across the board to develop for. So by nature of the development, PlayStation is already at an advantage. Then on top of that, because of the Series X and S, you create confusion. So now people don't know what to get or which one to have, but they always gonna go for the cheaper version. And when they go for the cheaper version, they like, oh, dag, maybe I should have, or this wasn't what my kid wanted. Oh man, well, this is what you want to deal with. It leaves a nasty taste in your mouth. Pause. when it comes to Xbox. Then on top of that, you show off the box 2019 Game Awards, and what you showed off even back then, there's nothing day one that represents that. And what we do get on day one, and when Halo eventually comes out, this is your flagship title, and it looks nothing compared to what your system's capabilities are. The trees don't even move. The shadows is off. It looks stale and stiff. Like, this is Halo we talking about. So when you factor in all of those things out the gate, the problem with that is that Xbox One had a rocky start. And now all these years later, you have a even worse rocky start. So what did you learn from the last? That right there is disheartening. PlayStation is only going up, making things better, and the evidence is the results. Phil Spencer already said what he said, so we know what it is. If you look at the top gaming companies in the world, PlayStation is number one. I think Tencent is number two. EA, I think, is number three. Then Nintendo number four. Then Xbox number five, I believe, in terms of gaming companies. I'm talking about the gaming division.
Yeah, not console,
only the game division,
not platform
not
holders.
not the whole company. Like Microsoft is bigger than Sony. I'm talking about the gaming division of these companies. You understand what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is, Sony shows, Sony delivers, and the evidence proves it. With Xbox, if Xbox treated their business model like how they treat their community, I believe that they will eventually beat PlayStation. But that's not the case. And what I mean by that is Xbox, when it comes to community, is incredible. Like, by far, Xbox is involved for real with the community. PlayStation is very, very introverted when it comes to community stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. They do things here and there, but in comparison to how Xbox is with the crowd and the audience and fan fest and all this other stuff, Sony, back in the day, they used to do things like that. Now, them things is gone. It's sad to say, but Xbox, if Xbox as a company operated like how they do within community, Xbox would be number one right now, probably.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now we're a few years into this console generation. One thing I wanted to read out real quick from the chat. Miss Joanna Dark had a question for you. So before I forget to ask that, let me go ahead and throw that out there. He said, I have a question for Hip Hop Gamer. Does he think Sony is emulating parts of the Xbox where all they given us is remasters and one new IP in Returnal, which is underrated?
Ooh, great question. So, no, I don't think they're emulating Xbox at all. I think they're paying attention to the data. So when you play games, especially nowadays, every game comes with a term of agreement. And every game has where you have to share your data in order to play that game. You have to agree to it.
Right.
And that's been going on for years. So what happens is they have an algorithm behind the scenes where they have a data of how people behave, what people want, so they don't have to guess what to invest in. So it doesn't mean every investment that they make is going to hit, but 90+% of everything that these companies invest in, they're going to make money on because they're not guessing. You know what I'm saying? They following your behavior to understand what you want. You know what I'm saying? So all the conversations that y'all have, everything that's on Twitter, all these things that's out there, they already know what people want and what they're trying to do and stuff like that. So what I said that to say this. Back in the N4G days when I was on N4G and stuff like that, I came out with an article letting everybody know that remasters is going to be the new next big thing. Halo 1 HD remake, Devil May Cry, a bunch of other titles. And that whole generation, in terms of PS4, Xbox One X, you saw a ton of remasters. Now in this generation is more about remakes.
Right.
Because people want to play their favorite games and they want them remade. Why? So the average game purchaser is between the ages of 33 and 36 years old. You see what I'm saying? Hans, you're 36, right? Or 35?
35.
35. I'm 40. So we're the generation that grew up in gaming that always wanted to buy all the games that we couldn't afford. Now that we of age where we could get all the games that we want to go back and still play the old games that we couldn't even get a chance to play and stuff like that. But why not play them in the way where it's modern in this day and age with these graphics and this technology and stuff like that? So that's where a lot of that data comes from. So what I tell a lot of people is you got to follow the data. You got to follow a lot of the patents. You got to follow these things to know the moves that a lot of these companies is making. Because when y'all see stuff, this is stuff that was like 5 years, 6, 7 years already in the making by the time it gets to us and stuff like that. So from a journalistic standpoint, I understand how this works. So that's why even with me, like I would say something and people be like, oh, nah, Hip Hop Gamer's lying. Oh, nah, that ain't going to happen. Oh, nah, blah, blah, blah. And then 2-3 years later, oh, Hip Hop Gamer was right. And then somebody else try to take the credit. You see what I'm saying? It happens all the time with me. So the point I'm trying to make is when it comes to your question in emulating, I don't think they're emulating Xbox at all. I just think they're following the data of the market so they can make better decisions to have better ROI on their investments.
Well, I have a question kind of based off of Mr. Joanna Dark's question, because he is talking about emulating like with some game or like, like how they're doing some of these games and remasters and stuff like that. How about when it comes to, I want to know what you think of when it comes to like strategy. If you think that PlayStation is kind of outright copying what their third place competitor or fifth or whatever place you want to put Xbox in competitor is doing. Because as you've seen with the usher in of this generation with the PlayStation 5, they didn't seem to care about anything backwards compatible. They didn't really seem to care too much about PC. Reward system, sure, they've had it in the past, but it wasn't anything anybody was looking forward to.
Right.
And now we're seeing, I mean, obviously the VR thing, that's been their kind of swag for now a generation. But seeing some of these other things like games going to PC, like the PlayStation Plus Premium, and every once in a while you'll see like a day one game come out of there, even though they tell you they don't want to do nothing day one. They still dropped a few games in their day one, like Destruction All Stars, and I believe there's a couple other like Chia and stuff like that, right? So they do that sometimes, but what it looks like from a person, at least in my shoes, is that hey, Xbox said they've been cared about this stuff, and all of a sudden you guys now care. Where did that come from when you just got done talking about generations?
Got you. So one thing is timing is everything. So I'll give you an example with the PlayStation PC side of things, right? So when you look at PlayStation putting their games on PC, there's market research that they do. Now, do they utilize Xbox and other companies to test those waters? Yes. But the difference with Xbox and PlayStation is that Xbox have a PC Game Pass style of doing it. Whereas PlayStation, they're making you buy the game all over again. See what I'm saying? So if they was truly emulating, they would emulate all the way, because that's what emulation is. Like, I'm going to literally do everything you do and do it better. PlayStation's not doing that. PlayStation is looking at a market and figuring out how can they put their spin on a good idea or put their spin on somebody else's idea and make it better and make it their own. Case in point, Nintendo comes out with the Rumble Pack. PlayStation comes out with DualShock. So you could say, did they emulate Nintendo with the Rumble, no, they didn't emulate it, but they knew it was a great idea and it could add value and experience and feel to the gameplay experience. So they did a DualShock, which is better. And now that they made that better, that becomes the standard because nobody has a Rumble pack now. You see what I'm saying? So that's how PlayStation operates. They see something and they figure out how can we make it work for us and make it better so we could create a standard around it. And when you create a standard, that's good for business, competitor or not. It's good for business. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation needs Xbox. PlayStation needs Nintendo to still be successful because it grows the overall business that they are part of, but they still want to be number one within the business that they are part of. So that's that. That's just smart strategy. The second thing when it comes to the emulation thing that you was talking about, when it comes to backwards compatibility and stuff like that.
They created a whole new team after saying we ain't doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, if you remember, there was a talk between Mark Cerny and Shuhei Yoshida maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And Yoshida always wanted to do it, but he said it was very expensive. And because of the situation that they was in with PS3, they had to change up their entire business model to be successful to get back on track with PS4. That's why they focus more so on PS4, what PS4 can do versus those features that a lot of fans would want. So now, if you look at all the patents, I broke this story like plenty of years ago. But when you look at what's going on now, how you can play PS1 games on PS5 now, you can play PS2 games on PS5 now. The PS3 will be coming soon, where it's not just streamable, but it will be downloadable. That's why they hired that. I forgot the gentleman's name, but he's on the tech team that's specifically designed to preserve the games because they have a whole new way that they're about to bring backwards compatibility in the modern day to this generation going into the PlayStation 6 that we're going to see as well as standard 2. So get ready for that. But it's not like, let me look at what Xbox do and copy them. No, it's let me look at the market. Let me see what my competitors is doing within this market and let me capitalize in a way that works for us. So I wouldn't say that's emulation. I would just say that it's smart strategy. And it's always smart strategy to learn from your competitors' mistakes as well. That's wise because you don't want to make the same mistakes that your competitor makes in the particular market field. The market don't care about who you are, your brand name, your feelings, a fanboy, fangirl. The market don't care about it. You just got to make sure you work alongside that market and be strategic when you make the move.
Yeah, and I tell you what, yeah, I agree with you in the whole Sony needs Xbox out there because who else is who else is more bold than Microsoft to just try something and let it fail and then say, screw it, I'm going to try something completely different. And Sony's like, oh, I seen something dope through that trial and we're going to try to do it as well. And what I mean by that is if you look at the previous generation with Xbox and the Snap feature, you can watch things through that. PlayStation has something similar, but it's not like for like watching media, even though you can kind of hack into it and make it do that. You can more or less like watch other people's games, watch their gameplay, hop into their game and stuff like that. So there are pieces that are taken. It may not be the exact same thing, but it is a similar rendition and a more refined.
SharePlay still to this day is one of the best features ever, and Sony should be promoting that a whole lot more.
I'm surprised
SharePlay
they
is
don't.
one of the best features. SharePlay to this day, I'm not sure if y'all ever use this service called Parsec, but if you on PC and you use a service called Parsec, yo, you can literally play old games like Nintendo 8-bit, old games online against people through Parsec. Parsec is one of the best tools on the market right now. Right now, as we speak, I'm going to keep it a buck with you, son. Right now, as we speak, right? Now, let's say, all right, forget Starfield. Matter of fact, let's use Starfield. So Starfield comes out September 6th, right? Let's say for whatever reason, I got the game August 25th. I got it early. It's not on Game Pass, nowhere. I got it early. And I'm like, yo, Hans, you want to play it? I get on Parsec. and I could literally hand you the controller virtually, and you could play Starfield on my computer from your house while I'm playing something else, doing something else. So you at your house sitting down playing Starfield right now from my machine as if you were sitting next to me in my house in real life.
That's wild. That's wild. And you're saying you can go as far back as like, Saturn games, Genesis,
Saturn, all of it.
Atari, just whatever.
All of it. I could go back and do all of that. Yep.
Fantastic. Well,
yep.
Continue.
Go ahead. So, just think about that. Playing online games on these old. Imagine playing NBA Street online right now because of Parsec. Come on, B. That's why share play is so dope.
Gotcha. Shout out to 4GQ TV popping through. He says hip hop. My dude, love this guy, the realest and the kindest guy you could ever meet. Shout out.
God bless you, man. Thank you so much, 4G.
Italian Clowns. Let's go. And shout out to Back from the Dead as well. I've seen him in the chat a little earlier. Void Lock says something that actually is going to help me maneuver to the next thing I want to ask before we get out of this subject. Hit one last subject before we call it quits. Voidlock says Sony's lack of multiplayer games is going to hurt them. As of recently, I mean, we've seen that the PlayStation Showcase had a ton of different multiplayer games. So Voidlock, to answer your question, they're working on it, right? They're working on it. They're trying to get this multiplayer thing working for them instead of relying on all these other people. We already see how the whole Activision Blizzard thing is going with Xbox. I'm curious to know from you, Hip Hop, how you felt after that after this last PlayStation Showcase, because I mean you've been all over the place lately.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so before I answer that question, just to piggyback off what I forgot who asked that question about who?
I'm sorry, ask the question about what?
The question about the multiplayer games with Sony.
Yeah, that was Voidlock.
Voidlock. I shot the Voidlock. So Voidlock said that if Sony don't get more multiplayer games,
Sony's lack of multiplayer games is gonna hurt them, is what he said.
It's gonna hurt them. So here's what I would say to that. What evidence do you got of that? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I understand where the question comes from. I understand where he's coming from. But my thing is, a lot of times we can say things because we feel things, but what's the evidence that make that a factual statement? That's what I'm saying. What's the evidence that make that a factual statement? Now, if you're talking about it will, if you say it'll hurt them, how will it hurt them? What's the timeline on when it hurts them or whatever? And the reason I'm saying that is because right now, as we speak, you got games like X Defiant that people's playing. You got games like Destiny that people is playing. You have multiplayer games that's out there, and even though they're third party, and I know Sony does need their first party, but even the third party is more so played on the PlayStation platform. So I could kind of relate to it more if it was a situation where you got all these multiplayer games, but nobody is playing them on PlayStation, so it's kind of empty there. But if mostly everybody is on PlayStation when these live service games is being played, then yeah, it's always good to have your own. But to say it's going to hurt them, what evidence points towards that as a fact? Or, that's just how I like to come at things, just to have clarity on what you mean by the statement. So if he has an answer for that he puts in the chat, I'll read it out to see it. You'll read it out. Now, going into the PlayStation 5 showcase. So here's the deal. The showcase wasn't as good as you would expect from Sony based on their track record, but it wasn't bad like how people was trying to say. Not at all. So here's the highs and here's the lows. The lows is this. We didn't need to see a Gran Turismo movie trailer in this game showcase. And if you was going to do the movie trailer, follow that up with some DLC for the game so it ties in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, make it make sense.
So Yeah, so we didn't need that. That was a low. Final Fantasy 16 is amazing, but they already sold it already. We already knew it was gonna be fire. We didn't need to see that again. You know what I'm saying? So that was a low for me, even though the game is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't need that for the showcase. That's 2. 3, the handheld that they got is stupid. I don't think nobody asked for that. We don't need that. I could get the backbone and connect it to my mobile right now, and boom, I got the handheld. Like that's unless they show us something completely different outside of what they said it was for, that's pointless to me. They didn't need to have that there.
Especially since it takes over your PlayStation 5.
Exactly. So they didn't need to have that there as well. That didn't make no sense. That's pointless to me as well. And then another low was not actual gameplay. Sony, you know better. Nobody got time to be wondering what your game is. Show it or don't. Period. Or if you're going to show CGI, let the CGI set it off and let it lead into gameplay so we know what we're seeing.
Right.
Like, that didn't happen. So that was a big, big, big low. So those was the elements that I was like, this ain't good. And the flow of the show with those lows made it worse as a showcase. Now, that's my lows. So for a minute, I was like, this ain't looking good. But things change. Phantom Blade 0.
I'm not convinced that's a real game.
What you mean? You're not convinced? Well,
I'm not convinced that's a real game. What the hell is going on in that game?
You're not convinced that's a real game?
Why? That looked like the longest CGI trailer I've ever watched in my life.
Bro, stop playing, son. Nah, son, that was gameplay, bro. Come on.
Bro, like what part? Which part was gameplay? When he was jumping from the stairs and then jumping?
Every part was gameplay.
I don't know, bro. I mean, what is it? Is everything gonna be like QTEs in the game? Is the game just a bunch of QTEs? Because I'm wondering how this person is fighting 4 different people at once, and it's so smooth. We already know in Assassin's Creed, there's a little bit of lag between going back and forth between other people fighting. Same with really most games. So I want to know, like, how the heck is this dude fighting on a train that's moving insane and dude's standing on like a rail? Like, how is that actual gameplay? And unless this is just a bunch of QTE moments like in Azura's Wrath or something like that, I'm not understanding how I'm actually in control of every possible moment in that game. It just looks so unreal to me.
Bro, I'm glad you said that. Because that right there, that one game was a showstopper. That is the best animation I've ever seen in a game before. When he spent, you heard his clothes go like, yo, no. When he ran up the wall, started fighting, you see the horses, no. Nah, son. Phantom Blade 0 shut down everything. That was ridiculous, bro. That one game alone right there was like, okay, I'd never seen this before. I love Ghost of Tsushima, and Ghost of Tsushima ain't that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game that they ended up doing a director's cut for on the PlayStation 5, and it looked fantastic, ran fantastic on there, but the moments in between hopping from one fighter to the next was very similar to like an Assassin's Creed. It was not instantaneous like it was in that Phantom Blade 0. And that's what I'm saying. Like, how is this studio that's only a few months into making like I don't know, it seems like they're only like a year into making a game or something like that, but they got that to show? No way.
Bro, but listen, we're living in a time where a lot of games, it don't take a lot of people to make great games. You could punch above your weight a lot now with the technology that's out there.
That's true.
Like, do you understand what you could do with Unreal Engine 5 with a team of 12?
I don't. I'm not a game. I'm not a dev, so I don't.
All right, I'm gonna tell you right now. So at Summer Games Fest, I played the brand new EA Originals games, Immortals of Avium.
That game looks so good.
That game right there is an independent team. That's a small team that made that.
Yeah, Ascendant Studios. Shout out to Brett Robbins.
Yo, the graphics, the feel, go look at a trailer of Immortals of Avium. Look at how real the game look. The skin, the detail, the peasiness in the hair, all of that. Son, this joint, look, I played it in person, bro. No. That game is nuts, bro.
It is.
Period. So the point I'm trying to say is, yes, man. Like, these games is crazy, son. That was gameplay, bro. Gameplay with Phantom Blade Zero, son. That joint is ridiculous.
All right. I'm gonna have to hit you up when that game comes out, and we'll see.
Go right ahead. We'll see. We'll see. I know what I'm talking about. But yo, that joint is ridiculous. So that was one. Then Alan Wake 2. That right there is a Game of the Year contender. Because I got a chance to see more of it behind the scenes. No, bro. Alan Wake 2 is something ridiculous, bro. And that was in that showcase. That game is fire, period. So that right there was dope. And, like, to think that a title that was, like, Xbox only at one point to show up at a PlayStation showcase like that, crazy. That was crazy. That was shocking. So that's 2. Then, if you want to go the indie route, there's this one game that is one of the best genius ideas I've ever seen in a game. And that's the Plucky Squire.
Plucky Squires,
like that.
Where you're in the book and then you get out of the book and it's 3D now.
Jump out of the book. That's like the next generation of Cuphead. Like, that's how crazy that type of game is. That's a showstopper. And they showed a lot more gameplay on that. That game is on a whole nother level. Crazy. Then Dragon's Dogma 2 look ridiculous. That joint is crazy. Like, dog, they had bangers. And then come on, Spider-Man 2 just shut it down. You don't even got to talk about that, son. Marvel Spider-Man 2 just punched everything in the mouth. Like, that joint is ridiculous too. So it's like they had mad bangers. So to me, the showcase overall, in terms of how it flowed, wasn't as good as what you would expect from a Sony showcase. But the showcase wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good to the standard that we're used to seeing with Sony. So that's what I took from it. And stuff like that. And if we're going to go into the Xbox showcase, I was there in person for that. And I ain't going to front, man.
Well, slow down now. We'll get into that part. Okay. So yeah, the PlayStation Showcase was a good time for you. Eventually, like parts of it was good, parts of it was lackluster. It was kind of a mixture, but you took what was good and ran with it.
Yeah.
So now we're running into Jeff Keighley's show, which is a summer game fest. You were there.
Yes.
You were very much there. I remember seeing some of those videos and stuff like that, people posting stuff on Twitter and whatnot. I know you were there for sure. Talk about that showcase, the goods, the bad. What happened?
That showcase was fire. I love that showcase. Yo, you know what's so funny? And I'm be honest. When you are in the building and the music is going and the energy is there, it's a different feeling than being at home.
Right.
I'm just keeping it real. It's a different feeling.
It's like football, watching it live compared to watching it on your couch.
Yeah. You feel it differently. But what I would say is when Ed Boon came out on that stage, that was it. Mortal Kombat 1, that was it. Shut it down. That alone right there was the whole show. That it killed it. The energy was ridiculous. That's 1. 2, yo, Prince of Persia, they opened up with that. And that game is insane. I played it, all of that game crazy. Day 1, day 0. Like, that game is phenomenal. Prince of Persia is back and it's different. That joint was crazy. So I thought that right there was great. I'm trying to remember more of that showcase. I know we had Nicolas Cage come out and stuff like that with the Dead by Daylight joint. Wasn't the best presentation from the gameplay standpoint. Seeing him in it because it was real stiff. Like it didn't feel like it was even done
I
already.
wasn't rocking with that, but I wasn't rocking with that part. That was weird. But I do know you got to interview Nicolas Cage for Renfield. I do know you did that.
Yes, shout out to Nicolas Cage. He's incredible. I love Nicolas Cage. So that was great right there. So it was great to see him up on stage. That was dope. You know, they I believe they showed more of Immortals on that stage as well, and that game was phenomenal. So that was dope. I'm trying to remember what else they showed. I don't remember the whole showcase off the top of my head.
Well, they showed more Alan Wake. They showed, I believe, didn't they show Sonic?
Yes, Sonic. Yo, the show was fire, son. That's all you need to know, son. This is exactly how Sonic was moving. Like that, yo, Sonic Superstars. Man, that joint was amazing, bro. Amazing. That right there was crazy. I loved it. That was dope. That was dope. Yeah, and also the Summer Games Fest showcase is a variety showcase. It's gonna show you a bunch of stuff, period. Right. And I ain't gonna front, man. This is like one of, if not the best year ever for game releases. Do you understand? All the games that's coming out this year?
It's a fact.
Games that came out already? Dog, like this year is dumb, son. With all the games right now, bro. So look, I'm just happy, man. But overall, just being there, I thought the showcase was fire. Enjoyed myself. It was great.
How did you feel after talking about Gran Turismo in the PlayStation showcase? How did you feel seeing Twisted Metal with no cars, and then also,
the Twisted
Witcher.
The Twisted Metal. You talking about the Twisted Metal movie?
The TV show that's supposed to be coming to Peacock. They showed the trailer of the at the Summer Game Fest, and then also The Witcher. Right. I'm wondering how you felt seeing those TV shows within that showcase.
Well, within that showcase, it was fine because it's a variety showcase and it still pertains to the game. So it was different. It's a different energy with those types of showcases. So I didn't mind it, but that Twisted Metal trailer was trash. Ooh. It was trash. I don't like it at all. It was like they was trying to be cool and funny. It wasn't nothing cool and funny about it. It was real like cringy. And also, this Sweet Tooth we talking about, man. Like, I want to see him. Like, you know what I would have loved to see? The same way Twisted Metal Black was from a story standpoint. If they would have went that angle for the show,
like dark, just dark.
That's it. It would have been that would have been it. They tried to, bro. I don't even know what that was that they showed. Like, I'm not even hyped to see the show anymore.
I'm not even gonna lie. I laughed when I watched it, but I didn't know what it was until the screen came on and said Twisted Metal, because I didn't link Twisted Metal to that scene, because it was just like, what are we doing here?
It was horrible, bro.
So it was different, that's for sure, and I'm really interested in how that show's gonna end up coming out. I thought it was weird, and I felt like having like the new Captain America in there, I felt like took all of the oxygen out of the room. So like you barely even noticed that was even Sweet Tooth, because you're sitting there wondering, is this a new a Captain America movie, or what's going on? Why is he singing the thong song? What's going on here?
Yeah, like I ain't like it. I ain't like it at all. Trailer was horrible, man. Horrible. I'm very disappointed. But the other trailer, The Witcher, crazy. Love The Witcher. So yep, we lit with Geralt of Rivia. Let's go.
All right, last one now. Xbox Showcase. You were there as well.
Yes.
Speak on it.
Yo, Xbox Showcase was crazy, son. Yo, I don't think. Yo, listen. Fable, it's looking special.
It is.
Yo, with the Giants and the way that joint was moving, Fable, I gotta see somebody play that. like, because all that stuff was in game. All the stuff I gotta see somebody move around and play in that world. But dog, that joint, that's how you open up a showcase. That was spectacular. So Xbox, they did their thing, man. Fable was crazy. There's this game, even though they didn't show gameplay, but the trailer, but it was South of Midnight or something.
Right. Yep. Compulsion's game.
That joint looks breathtaking. And the style that they went with, the music, I need it. That game looked crazy. I need it. That right there was fire. I think they kind of overdid it with the Persona stuff. Like, I think they went all the way in with Persona stuff. They kind of overdid it with that. That was like a low for me because they just went all in. I'm like, it's one thing if it was a new game, but it's not a new game. It's just coming to your system. Like, it's, we know already. Like, you know. So that was that for me. Forza looked great, but I'm not surprised by that. It's Forza. Like, that looked great. So cool. You know, that's dope.
How about Avowed?
Avowed, it looked dope, but I gotta see more. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there was a lot of hype around the trailer and what they showed off and stuff like that. And then when I seen it, it looked good, but it didn't hit. Like, it didn't hit like how that Fable hit. You know what I'm saying? Avowed to me looks like another version of what Skyrim is, but better looking. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Skyrim is amazing. Right. But I need to see more for it to be more. At least for me. But what they showed, and they finally showed it at the showcase, that was great for it to be at the showcase, and we got a chance to see it. So that was dope right there. What else did they show at the
Hellblade
Xbox show? I am disappointed in Hellblade.
I agree.
You do all that talking, and the only gameplay you show was me getting out of a rock. Nah, B. Nope. Nope. It's 2019, son. 2019 since they showed that joint. We in 2023. And you won't give me more conversation? It looked amazing, but we already knew that. Nah, disappointed.
Let's pause on that because I'm gonna bring that back up here in just a little bit. Let's continue on to what was another game that was there that was phenomenal.
I'm trying to remember, man.
I mean, I'm saying other than Starfield because we're definitely gonna touch upon that real quick. But man, I'm trying to think off the top of my head because there was a ton of games at that.
Yeah, there was a lot of games. There was a lot of stuff there. But I just don't remember a lot of stuff off the top of my head right now because there was just so much throughout all the shows. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I was there for Ubisoft as well. You know, I was there for so many things. If I'm not mistaken, I think
Star Wars, The Clockwork Revolution.
No, Star Wars Outlaws.
Yep.
They showed that joint is fire. Fire. The fact that you can go from ground to outer space seamlessly, it just Star Wars Outlaws is beautiful. That game crazy, son. So, yep, I love that. They had a great show, man. They had a great show, man. It was really, really good. Really good.
Did you see Clockwork Revolution?
Did you see Immortals is dope too?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Clockwork was dope too. Yep. Clockwork joint was fire. That was dope. I like that.
All right, so let's just go on ahead and just dive into it because it's obviously taking up a lot of oxygen. And although Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 looked really dope and whatnot,
that looks amazing. They added more things to it. I like it.
Let's now go even further higher than any flight sim plane can take us. Let's get out of the stratosphere and talk about Starfield. So I'm telling you, from my perspective, that when I seen Starfield and then once the show was over, I barely realized 45 minutes had passed. And I had sat here and watched the ins and outs of a lot of this game. And that wasn't even all of what the game could do. That was just what they had time to show.
What they had to show, yeah.
So I want to know from the person that was there, sitting center stage, or sitting, you know, in the bleachers or whatever, in row 3. So
you just I'm bugging. I'm thinking of Summer Games Fest at the Xbox Fair Fest. Yeah, I was up top. Yeah.
All right, so you're up in the bleachers. I want to know what was going through your head during this long but very intentional piece of the showcase that was the Starfield Direct.
So the first thing to my mind was, what did they make? What did they just make? This is like No Man's Sky on every type of steroid, Molly, Percocet you could take. Like this joint is ridiculous, bro. For real. I'm gonna tell you something. I had an off-camera conversation with Pete Hines while I was there. Shout out to my brother Pete Hines. That's my dude. We was just talking about the game, man. He said that because they got builds, obviously, now that they're playing. He was like, yo, I never thought there'll be a game that would stop me from playing Diablo 4 because I really want to play it, but I can't stop playing Starfield right now with the stuff you be doing
over Diablo. I mean, come on, bruh. We all know. I mean, I'm in the trenches right now in Diablo, and I'm telling you, I cannot. Every time I try to play another game, I'm just like, I need to put in some work on Diablo, bro. So, like, to hear that is very telling.
Yo, he was like, he went to this one planet, and he didn't know. He went to this one planet, and he didn't know that because of the clothes he had on, that the planet and the people on that planet wouldn't like him because this is the clothes of their rivals. But he never been to that planet, so he didn't know what to expect. So he gets on a planet, goes to meet and talk to people, and immediately he got beef. And then they make you make a choice. The stuff that happens in this game, and the thing is,
you just got off the ship, you try and shake somebody's hand, and someone says, "Get your hand the fuck up out of here, man."
And the thing is, what's so funny is that experience will never ever happen again for nobody but him, because the way the game is designed. Man, everybody's experience is going to be different in this game. Now, there's certain things that may be general across the board for the nature of the game to get it started. But once you start exploring and going through the game, your experience is yours.
Okay.
This is nuts, bro.
Now, I'm going to bring back in the Hellblade thing that I was talking about just a little bit ago. So you said you were disappointed at the showing that was Hellblade. Do you feel like they were just trying to step out of the Starfield light possibly with that showcase? Because they know we're all hungry to see a fight with Senua, right? We want to see what that is, right? But right now this is Starfield's time. Do you feel like that excuse is valid at all?
No. If you ain't gonna show nothing, don't show up. Period. If you ain't gonna show nothing, don't show up. Period. Starfield is Starfield, but that's Bethesda. Hellblade, that's Ninja Theory. Different company. You got your own fans, your own situation. You show up, or you show up and show up, or you show out, or you don't show up at all. What are we doing?
Okay, and then with the whole Starfield thing now, everyone's a little up in arms about the whole 30 FPS. People like Lemon, K-Mega, and many other people that are, they've been around gaming for some time, and they've been preaching 30 FPS is not going anywhere. The most recent Final Fantasy 16 came out, and Digital Foundry did their own analysis on the game and said, based on what we're seeing, this game is best played on quality mode. Now, I don't want to go into the PlayStation right now because they've been providing a lot of 60 FPS games and stuff like that. They've been doing their thing or whatnot. But the one thing that Xbox has constantly been getting scrutinized over is something that you brought up just a little bit ago. This is supposed to be the powerhouse, eating monsters for breakfast kind of console. But then a game, I don't want to give it, everyone's calling it a generational title, and I get it, it probably is. I get that. But a lot of people, whether they're fanboys or just people that are power hungry, although we know if you're really that power hungry, you got to get a PC. But like the people that are power hungry but very particular about getting the console experience are saying this console is touting power at the beginning of the generation, but Redfall comes out and they want to blame the developers on that and say, the developers didn't have this stuff ready. And then Starfield rolls out now, and Todd's been telling us, whether you wanted to pay attention or not, if you watch the Lex Friedman video, he says we like working in 30 FPS. So a lot of us that were paying close attention knew what was probably coming. But those of us that kind of fell back until Starfield came to the stage and said what they had to say seemed to be a little disappointed once they got sat down with IGN or with Ryan McCaffrey, and he went on ahead and Todd Howard went on ahead and told him, 30 FPS. We seen it go up to 60, but we didn't want to do that because we want consistency. I want to know from somebody like you that just got done saying a little bit earlier about the power and it wasn't really showing off that flexibility. How do you feel about seeing a game like this at 30 FPS?
Yo, it's a fair point. Look, man, everybody that brought the Xbox Series X, they brought it because of the way it was marketed and what they was told they would get when they got it. You said that you're the world's most powerful console, 60 frames per second. I could go to the tweets. Aaron Greenberg, that's my brother. But I could also go to the tweets. And everything is 60 FPS and up. That's it. This is how we rolling. If you go back to the tweets and see what people were saying. This is a flagship title for y'all. That's one. Two, it's a shooter. It's still a first-person shooter. That alone is 60 FPS or bust for a shooter. It's not a competitive shooter, but it's still a shooter. Three, if 30 FPS is what we doing and there's no option for 60 FPS, that's questionable to me. The reason why I say that is because if you run this game, if you try to make this game 60 FPS and it's not working right, what that tells me is that that's a Series S problem. And these games got to work on the X and the S. This is not a Series X only title. This has to run on your Series S. So what I believe what they're not telling you is that because this game has to work on Series S as well as the X, they're running into uniformity issues, parity issues. And on a Series X, I'm pretty sure without a shadow of a doubt, they could do 60 with this game. But the fact that you got to focus on the S and you got to launch and it has to work everywhere is only going to work at 30 for both. With the style of game this is, the procedural generation this game has, the tech and all of that, you don't want to risk it. You don't want to chance it. So that's why I think that is. But anybody that's complaining about the 30, wishing it was 60, they have a fair point. Because you marketed, these is Microsoft's claims. Y'all made claims that y'all was the best. Y'all made claims that y'all was the most powerful. We brought into your claims, you must deliver. Simple as that. I call myself the GOAT of the game, right? You can't be the GOAT unless you take the hits. That's what I tell people. There's a lot of things that I do, have done, and am doing that only I do. So I created a scenario where if I make a claim, I should be able to back it up. If you make a claim, Hans, that you're going to do something or have something, you got to back it up. It's up to you because you made the claim. Microsoft, last generation with the Xbox One X, everything going to be 4K 60? Nope. Now we come to the Series S and X. Nope again. On your flagship title. And we've seen that too many times. Halo, crazy problems. It runs at 60, but look at it. It don't represent no... Bro, I could bring up first generation PS4 titles that destroy Halo in terms of just straight up power and performance, graphics and all of that. Infamous Second Son destroys anything Halo has. And that's a game that came out in 2014 on PS4. Base one. So I ain't trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it. The game is amazing. I love it. I'm going to play it. But in terms of your question and why fans are upset, they have a right to be. Because you're not backing up your claims that they invested in. Simple as that. Now, if you notice, PlayStation never made those particular claims. They just been delivering. So now one thing that people would try to hold PlayStation, not to, get off track, but the fact that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is coming to PC, a lot of people want to say, oh, I thought it couldn't be done on PC. I thought only at the time, yes, it can only be done on PS5. Remember, Mark Cerny said that the SSDs that's coming out, there's certain SSDs that's not on the market yet that can handle what we have. And until those things hit the market, wait for us to tell you which ones to get. So you could use it in your PS5, and once they hit the market and the PCs can handle it, then it'll be able to handle it. And then when does Ratchet and Clank come to PC? Years later, when PCs can handle it with that particular setup. And you're starting to see it in certain games now. I forgot which game off the top of my head, but there's a game that I played recently on PC that when you scroll down, it lets you choose what drive to use based on the performance of the game. I forgot. It's man. I forgot which game it was, but it's a new game out right now on PC that when you scroll down in the options, it gives you an option to use your HDD or your SSD for the game because it will determine how it runs. So you already starting to see that happen in game development, that certain games is being made with certain things in mind, just like Mark Cerny talked about in his talk when they was launching the PlayStation 5. And Mark Cerny was right. When you talk about teraflops, you got 12, this person got 10, but it doesn't mean what y'all think it means just because they got more teraflops. And that's been proven. Go watch Digital Foundry. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Fair enough. Okay. I don't agree with all of that, which is what it is. But I am curious as to, now that this game is being released here in September, and like I said, it's gonna, supposed to be 30 FPS and all. Are you gonna be playing it on Xbox or on your PC?
See, all day. Son, you kidding
PC.
me? I told you, bro. I use Plitch, so cheat codes all day, son. I'm gonna have a lot of these games, like for example, with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, right? You get your skill points and stuff like that. And sometimes it takes like 2 hours just to get one skill point, bro, because they making you go through all this other stuff. Nah, bro, I got infinite skill points. So whenever something unlocks, I get everything I want right then and there.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Yep.
You insane.
Yep. Facts.
You're insane.
You kidding me?
Oh yeah. Man. All right. So
in Starfield, there's how you could take somebody's ship and
hijack.
hijack and get all this other stuff. You know they're gonna have a skill-based system and abilities and all this other stuff. I'm getting everything I want when I can, and I'm just gonna be rocking. Word up.
All right, I got you. So, yeah, definitely play however the hell you want. It's your game at that
Of
time.
course,
Right?
I do what I want to do. Yep.
Exactly. So I'm definitely not with people criticizing anybody on how they play, because if you bought it, it's yours. If you're paying for a service, it's yours. Do whatever you want.
What Jay-Z say? What you eat don't make me. SHI.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I don't curse. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, I respect that. So with that being the whole 30 FPS thing coming out, Xbox did its showcase, announced a bunch of interesting titles.
Right.
And now they're in the midst of this whole FTC Activision thing. But what was slipped in just yesterday was a price hike. I want you to speak on how you feel about that price hike, because you've been very blunt about your feelings with Xbox so far so far in this interview. I want you to tell me now, seeing that, does that bother you? I'll tell you what I think, but I want to hear it from you first, because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm trying to like drive you to saying something else, which I don't think you do. You'd speak
of course, I say what I want.
Your own mind. But just for complete clarity, I want you to go on ahead and go first on that.
So here's the way I look at it. On one hand, it's just $1, just $2. You know, $1 here, $2 here, upgrade. You know, bump in price, no biggie. That's one side of it, just $1. But the problem is, just $1 becomes just $5, becomes just $10, and the next thing you know. So here's the problem that I have with it. Is not so much of the fact of how much of a price hike. Like I said, it's just $1. Like, you know, the problem that I got with it is we're in 2023 going on 2024. The system been out for 3 going on 4 years. How is it that this far in the life cycle you raise a price when normally prices go down?
Well, Sony did that too.
That right there is, say it again?
I said Sony did it too. They raised the console price, and they switched up their subscription to make a higher tier that costs more than even Game Pass does at this current time, unless you buy the whole year outright.
Right. So yeah, so now my thing
is, I want a year version of Game Pass. That'd be fantastic if they just gave it to us like Sony did, and like just says, you want to buy this year up front for $150, $160, or you could pay the regular thing and be $204 throughout the year.
Yeah. I'm with you 100%. Now I'm with you 100%. So on the Xbox side of things, the problem that I have with that is that with Xbox Game Pass as a business model, you hear and read all the headlines about we got 25 million players, 50 million players. All this stuff is good. The developers, blah, blah, blah. Everything is good. So what would be the reasoning for the bump? Now, they said to remain competitive, and I forgot there was something else that they said, but it was along the lines of remaining competitive in terms of bottom line in the business sense on the back end. The problem that I got with that is with all the investments that they're making, all the stuff that all the companies that they brought, all these studios, this is a big gamble. They gambled on the studios that they brought, the Activision deal that they're doing now. Like, all this other stuff was a gamble. And Game Pass is the conduit that's supposed to be the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's like the make or break of the whole platform.
Yes, it pays it off. Now, here's what a lot of Xbox fans is not going to want to hear, but I'm going to tell you something. And this is a real potential scenario. The only reason why I have not put this out yet and did an article on my own channels yet, because I want to get enough concrete confirmation. But this is supposed to be the last generation of an Xbox hardware platform. Everything will be Xbox Game Pass going forward, and Xbox Game Pass will live on every other platform, period. Xbox will be on your Samsung TVs in the cloud. Xbox will be on your PlayStation. Xbox will be on your Nintendo platform. Xbox will be on your phone. Xbox will be on your ROG Ally like it is now. Xbox Game Pass will be your new Xbox, and the hardware is gone. This is very, very realistic right now. I can't say what I want to say, but dog, what I'm telling you right now is that the conversations has been had as an option for Xbox to remove the hardware division and let it just be Xbox Game Pass, and all they do is generate fans and subscribers. That will be their business model for their gaming division, and they will make crazy money with multiple companies by giving these companies access to their subscriber base. That's the plan from what I hear. But I'm not putting it out as a confirmation until something gets told to me from a certain person. But as of right now, that's the trajectory where things is going. And Xbox will be a profitable beast once the hardware portion is gone.
That is something that none of us console gamers want to hear at all. You weren't lying about that, and I'm hoping you are 100% wrong on that one. But like, we'll just have to let the future tell it.
Yep, you have to let the future tell it.
But a quick transition before we go on to the last subject, which we're gonna knock that out. I don't want to keep you here too long. I want to respect your time and whatever. But do you? And I'm gonna ask you this simple because I don't want to sit here and talk about it for the next half hour.
Got you. Understand?
I want to know: are you for or against this current proposal that is being done by Microsoft for Activision Blizzard?
Well, for them to get Activision Blizzard as a company, that's an interesting thing. So the first time that I saw it, I was like, yo, go, like, that's good because they're trying to compete. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to compete. So I felt like that was a good move because we already seen since 2001 to now that Xbox, in a traditional sense, when it comes to console competition, they're not going to win. They lost every time. We've already seen that. We know that. So if this is a new way to compete and you using your dollars to do this, if that's the best way you could go about it to try to win, it's not illegal. Go right ahead. Now, that's what was my first initial reaction. I was shocked, but I was also like, yo, competition, yo. Sony got to step their game up. That's it. I'm all about competition. Then something else was said, and they were saying that this move is not to compete with PlayStation or Nintendo, whatever. This is more to compete against Google and Amazon. So by them doing this, they're not even thinking about PlayStation or Nintendo. They're trying to make sure Google and Amazon and certain other companies that's not really gaming centric get a hold of these important IPs because they could potentially ruin them. So this kind of trying to turn Microsoft into more of a
Do you think that was just like a PR thing to say though? Because like they're now in court and going against Sony why would you maybe want to come out and say straightforward that, hey, that's who our problem is right there, and that's who I want to take out? So instead, you maybe point at somebody that has the same bank account statement that you maybe have, and say, "Hey, look at Apple, look at Google. They got the kind of money that we got, and we can't compare. We can't compete. So we're trying to compete with those guys instead of saying, hey, we're trying to compete with Sony when we know damn well that they ain't got the pockets like that."
Right. So now you're absolutely spot on, bro. Now let's add to it. Now Microsoft has Azure, and you see Sony and Microsoft did that deal as well with the Azure situation to collaborate in some areas. What does Amazon got? AWS. See what I'm saying? Google, they got cloud technology as well. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So when they break it down from a cloud standpoint, you know, that all makes sense. But here's the problem. The very thing that they use to try to get the deal is the very thing that went against them. Because now you're trying to dominate the cloud market against PlayStation and Nintendo, because they got cloud services as well. So even though you said you focus on Amazon and Google, the nature of the business and the nature of the deal from what you said still ties in PlayStation and Nintendo.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
It does, but you're diverting by not even mentioning.
Exactly. So when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. This is deeper than the Google and the Amazon, and now they switching this up, switching that up. Nah, something's going on here. So you know me, I put my journalist hat on and I start like researching a lot of stuff, start looking at certain patents, certain things that's in place, and things of that nature.
That's
and
smart.
I'm gonna tell you, man, yo, Microsoft, they up to something bigger than what a lot of people even think about and seeing right now. So what Microsoft, honestly, bro, what they really want to do.
Time out. Are you excited about it or are you nervous about it? Before you answer.
Oh, thanks for stopping me. I'm a little nervous about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you an example. So what did we talk about earlier with Madden and NFL 2K? And NFL 2K not being around, and all we got is Madden.
Right.
That hurts the industry. So what Xbox is trying to do is put exclusivity across platforms. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that, right? So from a cloud standpoint, right? If Sony, look at PlayStation Premium and stuff like that, and look at the fact that PlayStation 5 is about to have a server blade where you can run the cloud games on. Because PlayStation is in the cloud and stuff like that, if Xbox gets certain deals to go through and stuff like that, then they can manipulate how PlayStation performs in the cloud in terms of business deals and how they want to grow their cloud business, because Xbox will have it all. The more they get, the more they are in control of, and the more they can take. And that right there it makes you nervous, because now Microsoft got way more money than Sony. Microsoft got way more money than Nintendo. And if they could body weight the victory and take care of everything, then where does that leave PlayStation? Where does that leave Nintendo? They're really, look, Matt Booty said it himself in the recent documents. We are trying to eliminate PlayStation. So how can you eliminate PlayStation? You can't do it the traditional way. But if you go through cloud technology, you can actually ruin their entire business model. How is that, Hip Hop Gamer? It's just cloud. Nobody even use it like that. Their main business is still in a traditional sense. So when you have deals in place, when you look at PlayStation as a platform, when you look at Nintendo as a platform, cloud technology is on that platform. If Microsoft has any control over not just the games you get, but the nature of the technology, and remember, 65% of the business of Microsoft is through their Azure. When you play a lot of these games, their games use Azure. A lot of these games use Azure. It's a necessary tool for game development. When you looking at Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's cloud technology that's being
Right.
streamed in with that data like that. So that game wouldn't even be able to be on the system if it wasn't for that type of technology. So if they monopolize the cloud, it's going to monopolize how games are made and the platforms that it's on.
Well, then here's a quick question.
They could, I'm telling you.
Well, then here's a quick question, because I know we're supposed to segue, and I told myself I didn't want to take too long on this one. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot it.
Go ahead.
How do you feel then, knowing that Nintendo was like, sure, whatever? Nvidia was, our hands are off of it. Steam said, we ain't even signing nothing. We ain't worried about it. How does that then translate then? Because there's so many, there's more that don't care, and then there's a minority that does care. The minority just happens to be in the number one spot.
Okay, so console business is different from the PC business. The PC business is the wild, wild west. Consoles,
but Nintendo's nowhere near the PC business.
Exactly. Well, you about to make me say something. I can't say this yet.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make you do that stuff. You know I'm not trying to do that on purpose.
I can't say this yet. What I will say is,
I got
some articles that's about to come out, bro. That everybody gonna be like, nah, and then they're gonna be like, oh shoot, that happened. So
that's a perfect moment for that person to walk right by you right there. Nah, and then walk right by. Oh shit.
So here's what I will tell you. So when you look at the handheld that Sony is doing, that cloud handheld thing.
Oh, the
now
meaningless one.
It's meaningless on the outside looking in, but it's smart in terms of this deal with Microsoft and what they're trying to do. See, the thing is, if Sony has a platform of their own that's a cloud thing and stuff like that, that's specifically designed for cloud usage, it changes the value of Sony as a business when it comes to what Microsoft is trying to do. Remember, Microsoft said that this is just cloud stuff. It doesn't affect their, see what I'm saying? It doesn't affect their natural business. This is just cloud stuff. But with the launch of the Project Q, it affects us now because we have a hardware device that's specifically designed for cloud. You see what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is Sony clearly knows what Xbox is trying to do. All of us don't know fully. I don't know fully, but I know enough to know that Microsoft is trying to do everything that they can to buy their way to victory because they never had one. So I'll just leave it like that. And the other part, in terms of what you were saying about how Steam and everybody in them don't care and stuff like that, that's because the nature of the PC business is different from the nature of the console business, and there's different rules and regulations within the PC policies as opposed to console policies. These are closed platforms. PC is open source. It's a different type of business model.
All right, perfect. Let's leave it at that, because we definitely have to move on, hit this last topic so we can get up out of here. I want you to go on ahead and explain to me your come up as a content creator for video games and stuff like that. Did it start with video games? Hot 97 is a radio station, bro.
Yeah.
It's a radio station. Funkmaster Flex out there, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of history with Hot 97. 100%. Big time. But I want to know how the heck you found yourself working with Hot 97, not only in gaming but also in media. But gaming is obviously the headline of who you are. Yeah. Let's go back to when HIPHOPGAMER had one concurrent viewer, and it was him.
Got you. So December 16th, 2007, I make my first ever video. It was called
Man, he knows a
Hip
day.
Hop. Yeah, December 16th, 2007. Make my first ever YouTube video ever. Hip Hop Gamers, plural, was the name of the show. It was me, my boy Jose. We both worked in the mailroom. I worked in the mailroom from 2000 to 2016, but I worked in the mailroom for the record labels from 2000 to 2014. So this is Interscope, Universal Music Group, Universal Republic, Def Jam, Rockefeller, Bloodline, rest in peace, DMX, Murder Inc. You name them, I know them. I've been around them that long. Everybody, I know everybody for real, right?
I believe it. I mean, it doesn't take too much
So-
scrolling through your stuff to figure out this man got connections.
Yeah,
But
so
continue.
it's crazy, right? So what happens is, my boy Jose, we said Sundays we're going to do the show. He had some issues with his girl. He couldn't do the following week. So Hip Hop Gamers, plural, becomes Hip Hop Gamer. And it was just me, and that's how it stayed. So that's how it started. Now, I make a video about this guy. His name was Candid Anthony. And he made a video about Assassin's Creed and how the 360 version was better than the PS3 version because you get achievements and stuff like that, and PlayStation didn't have anything like that, and he said that it performs better and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I told you earlier, 360 did perform better than PS3, but that particular game, no. That particular game, it was the same on both systems. I had both. So I called them out on it. And the editor-in-chief of this website called the Bitbag that Candid Anthony worked for hit me up, and he loved my video, and he agreed with me over his writer. That right there, I was so shocked.
Disrespect.
Because I was shocked. Because a lot of times, people would ride or die for their people, even if they're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if they're wrong.
That's
and for
wild.
Me, and the thing is, I respected it so much that I really wanted to get to know this dude. His name is Torrance Davis, and he invited me to be a guest on his podcast. At this time, I didn't even know what a podcast was, all this other stuff, but
yeah, it's 2007 as well, so keep that in mind. The internet is YouTube is only a few years deep at that point.
Not even it's like a year deep, because YouTube came out in 2006.
I thought it was out in 2005 because I remember using it in high school, and I graduated in 06.
YouTube came out in 2006, bro. I mean, you Google it right now, but I think YouTube came out in 2006. But what I'm trying to tell you is he loved my show, my style, my energy, the raw, and he wanted me to put my show on his website every week. So I did. So in doing that, he started to send me free games, and I was like, oh shoot, I never got this before. This is crazy. This is real. So I started reviewing games.
Yeah, your love for gaming was there, so you get something for free. You're just like, what's happening?
I'm like, yo, this is crazy. so then he hit me up and say, yo, I got an event that I want you to go to out in New York. It's for Mike Myers PR, and they got some games that they want to show you. And I'm like, word, for real? First ever press event ever in my life was with Mike Myers PR, and one of the games that I was playing was Happy Feet. The video game.
Yeah, you're talking about the movie.
Based off the movie. Yep. And there was a couple of other games there as well. So I go there, and I meet up with this girl, this lady. Her name is Kate, and the other lady name was Rebecca. I meet up with them. I'm losing my mind. We having a good time. I'm doing interviews and everything.
I bet you couldn't believe where you were at.
I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to cry. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. And then afterwards, I get back to the crib, I'm talking to my grandmom's like, yo, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? My grandma, she's still alive at this time. And, we just bugging out. And my boy Torrance gets a email from them saying, yo, Hip Hop Gamer was wonderful to have him. He was amazing. His energy, I never seen anything like that before in the industry. He's great, blah, blah, blah. And
to this day.
yes, to this day, right? And then he was like, yes, he's a firecracker. I know, and stuff like that. And he CC'd me on the email, and I'm like, yo, they liked it for a while. So then he was like, yo, you want to go to E3? I was like, what you mean? I'm like, what you mean go to E3? He's like, do you want to go to E3?
You said, quit playing with me. Quit playing with me.
Yeah, I was like, go to E3 for real? Like, yeah, like I want you to go to E3 in LA. And I couldn't believe it. So I went to E3. This is 2008. And my first year is when I met Aaron Greenberg. And we did an interview and it blew up because we was talking about Blu-ray versus HD DVD back in those times and stuff like that. And it was crazy. I interviewed Shane Kim, who was the Phil Spencer of Xbox, I believe, at that time. And all this other stuff. Yo, it was crazy. And Shane Kim knew who I was. He's like, yo, I watched your show. I lost it. I'm at it was nuts, bro. The parties, the events, the industry. I met Michael Pachter, like so many people. It was insane. It was crazy. So we do all of this. I get back to New York, get back home. All this stuff is surreal, but now it's on. Because even though I went there, had a great time, there were some moments that wasn't so great. I'll never forget, like upstairs in the Los Angeles Convention Center, you got meeting rooms. In this particular year, they had some cubicles up there, and I see like IGN signage and stuff like that. And I'm excited to meet everybody, just trying to introduce myself. I wasn't very well welcomed. I bet not. Leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? And then I started to like look around, and I was like, yo, dog, I ain't gonna front. I can count on my hand how many people that's black that's at E3. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, let alone that look like me and talk like me and dress like me. I'm me. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole time. Like, so I'm like, yo, this is weird. Like, it started bugging a little bit. Yeah, it started to feel real funny. And then everybody started looking at you crazy. Other journalists not respecting you and looking at you like you just like some goofy, like, yo, man. And the crazy thing about it is it was God testing me, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to punch people in their face. I ain't gonna front, son. I really I was a different person back then. I'm nowhere near who I used to be. I'm completely different now. Completely changed. But
you were bugging though, the way people were looking at you, and
yeah,
essentially they were sizing you up because they felt like you had no business in the building.
I had no business being there. I was a joke. Why you let them in? Like, that's literally the energy that was there. And there was a few people that wasn't like that showed me a lot of love, and they said that I was a breath of fresh air and I was needed in the industry.
Yeah, you weren't so basic, like, wow. Right? You weren't the run-of-the-mill regular person.
Exactly.
Asking the same boring ass questions.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So,
but I get it.
As a younger person and still transitioning, trying to like leave the street stuff alone, I was like real conflicted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm like, yo, this dude, like, why they acting like that? Like, they got a problem, say it to my face. What up? Like, you know, I had to get rid of that mentality. So it was God testing me and working on me. And then what happened is the more and more interviews I was doing, and the more certain people I started to meet, I started to break through the barriers. You know,
yeah, they had no choice but to accept.
Yeah, you know, after a while. And then what happened is when I got home and I got all this content, all this coverage, and I started putting it out, yo, people was like, yo, I never seen nobody do this before. This is crazy. Yo, he talk just like us, son. Like, he represent us, son. Like, it was like overwhelming, man. Like, it'll bring you to tears. It was overwhelming. like, yeah, man, because I never felt that level of responsibility for people that I don't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they knew
And
me
getting that kind
through
of
the
love from
content.
home is different too.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. And when that happened, I was like, oh, it's a wrap now. And then also I started to learn the business side of things because what I did know that nobody was gonna give me a job in the industry. Nobody. Nobody was gonna hire Hip Hop Gamer to be a part in the industry. And I ain't go front, man. I tried. Like I actually tried to get a job in the industry because this was gonna be my way out. This is gonna be it. I wanted to work in the industry. This is what I wanted to do. Nobody would give me a job, nobody or nothing. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I see what's going on. So I studied the business. I learned the business. I learned from people. I learned the bottom lines on how companies work. I utilized my journalism for more than just video games. I started to use my journalism skill for life. And once I saw that, I saw passing through people, I started analyzing body language. I started like, yo, I was watching Law and Order in a different way now. I was watching all types of cop shows and all types of movies and studying this. Yo,
What you're describing is a level of maturity has now, like, you went Super Saiyan out there.
yeah,
You
it
you
was different.
transformed. You ascended to a new plateau. So
Yeah.
so
So
continue. I apologize.
no, that's all right. So the biggest thing that like really changed was I stopped looking at everybody in the industry as my superiors, and I started looking at everybody as an equal,
Mm.
meaning that like y'all not better than me. So why am I treating y'all like y'all are? When I step foot here, I'm gonna get the same respect that everybody else get. And if you don't give it to me, you don't have to. I'm gonna take it because I'm that dude. I'm the best. Period. I knew I was the best before anybody else knew I was the best or would say that I was the best. You see what I'm saying? I took the hits already. I understand, and I'm still here, so I'm the best. You see what I'm saying? So then I started going after everything that nobody else was doing. So one of the first things that I did that started blowing me up was I started covering movies, TV shows, doing different things. And this was before Hot 97. So it's not because of Hot 97 while I was interviewing Denzel Washington and having him on my show, Ryan Reynolds and all these types of people. It wasn't
Which is
because of Hot
insane.
97 and stuff like that.
Denzel,
You know what I'm saying?
congrats.
Yeah, like I got discovered by an amazing person named Kim. And she was like, yo, I Googled hip hop and video games, and you the only person that came up. And we're trying to grow our business model with these TV shows and stuff like that. And we want to work with you. And this is in 2009, way before Hot 97, way before all that stuff. It's straight up me. So one thing that I wanted to do is that I wanted to prove that I don't care if you got IGN name up there. I don't care if you got MTV name up there. I don't care if you got GameSpot name up there. I don't care if you got Kotaku name up there. All those names and brands got people under them that make that brand go. But those people can easily be replaced. But those brand names will last forever. So what I did was my brand name is Hip Hop Gamer,
You
but my
signed
brand name
yourself.
is but it's also me. So when you say IGN and you say Hip Hop Gamer, it's one and the same in terms of impact and power. That was my new focus. So I'm not working for nobody. I'll work with you. We could partner up, but I ain't working for you like I'm under you. Nah. So that's another barrier that I broke. I was able to stand on my own and be self-sufficient against the biggest in the industry. So, but in order to make it legit, I had to be able to break stories that not even IGN got. I had to be able to break stories that people get stories from me. You see what I'm saying? So now I had to change the game, bro. Period. And I did all of that. I still do that. And yo, I don't say I'm the GOAT for no reason because it sounds nice, man. I'm literally the best ever in the gaming industry ever when it comes to journalism, breaking the barriers, breaking the mold, doing it my way, being unique still to this day, ain't have to change nothing. I don't work for nobody but me, my own company, Grandma's Boy Entertainment. self-sufficient, doing big things always by the grace of God. So at the end of the day, when I say I'm the GOAT, I'm the GOAT, and there's only one GOAT, period.
You knocking those down like Pimp C out here, man. Relax.
Yeah. I just had to let it be known so you could understand why I'm so passionate about what I do.
No, I get it. I 100% get it, and I love it. But right before I hit you with like exiting questions, which are like banger, very fast questions, I just wanted you to. I mean, you see it on Twitter. It says Hot 97 Hip Hop Gamer. So I want you to talk to me real quick, and this is kind of in a different direction a bit. I want you to talk to me real quick about like how it felt going from the mailroom. You distributing mail. You the mailman. You Karl Malone.
Yep. I'm Karl Malone. Literally.
Yeah. You went from the mailroom to, I help represent Hot 97 radio, but I'm my own person too. Like, how did you go from distributing the mail to the people that really talk to the stars to being at that moment where you're shaking hands with people like Nicolas Cage, Denzel Washington? How was that transition? And what was the feeling behind breaking through those moments?
Yo, dog, it was surreal. And you know what's so funny, man? It's still surreal to this day. Like, I'm still speechless to this day. So let me tell you how it went down, though. I worked, working in the mailroom. So, I'm working in the mailroom, right? But things started to get dangerous, actually. So, so here's what happened. I believe it was 2013 or 2012 or 2013 when I got with Hot 97. But here's how it happened. So my boy Davey D from Universal Republic, I would deliver mail all the time to him and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, bro, I see what you're doing. I see your YouTube channel. I follow you, bro. You do a lot of amazing things. Why are you still here? Like, for real, what is keeping you here? Why are you still here? You don't belong here no more, bro. I see you here every day.
He said,
hey, look, I love you.
What you doing?
Yeah, he's like, I love you. I love see you, but you don't belong here. You're wasting your time. What are we doing? So I was like, well, I'm trying to, figure it out and stuff like that. But, I haven't yet been able to get to a point where I could do what I love to do full time, and stuff like that. And he's like, well, you need to figure it out. And then I'm working on it. So I come back to him and he tells me, he's like, you know what? You need to talk to Hot 97. Hot 97 could use somebody like you. They need it, especially with the competition with Power 105. You bring gaming to Hot 97, it's over. Like, it'll be huge. And I was like, oh, word, I didn't even think about that. And it makes sense. My name is HIPHOPGAMER. This is the home of hip hop. It's like, I was like, yo, this could work. He put the thought in my head. So lo and behold, there's a video game that Facebook was doing. And the name of this game was called Gig It. And Neo was the cover boy for this game. And they was looking for people to talk about this game, market the game, and promote the game and cover the game and do interviews and stuff like that. So they looking up different people. And lo and behold, they find HIPHOPGAMER. So they invited me to a red carpet event, right? And Randy Zuckerberg was there, Mark Zuckerberg's sister. So they invite me out, and I'm on the red carpet doing interviews with everybody. Busta Rhymes come through. You got Rick Ross there, 2 Chainz. I think Nas was there as well. Like, it was crazy. So what happened is I see Peter Rosenberg, Ebro, everybody walking down the red carpet. I'm like, what? So it was an opportunity. So I interviewed them. Now, this is the same time when Nicki Minaj and Peter Rosenberg was beefing because Peter Rosenberg said that the Starship song that Nicki Minaj did was corny and it was pop. It wasn't gritty and hood. And they was going at it. So we did an interview. It was brief, but it was so powerful that he was like, we got to finish this interview up. And I said, yo, how come y'all don't? I was talking to Peter Rosenberg's publicist, and I was like, question, how come y'all don't have like gaming at Hot 97? Like, why don't y'all do that? Like, hip hop and video games grew up together, and I'm a hip hop gamer. Like, can we talk? And they were like, yeah, let's definitely talk about it and try to get this interview finished. So I had a meeting with them, and we talked about it, and they was like, you know what, let's give it a shot. And that's when I started putting little articles and everything on Hot 97. And then that led to me doing the videos. And then when I went out and I did the GameStop video when Xbox One was launching and stuff like that, that sealed the deal. And then we did Grand Theft Auto 5. We did this. Like, it started blowing up. And then I officially became a partner with Hot 97, contract, all of that. And yo, that's how it was ever since. And yeah, man, Hot 97's Hip Hop Gamer, the first gamer to bring gaming to, you know, radio station like that. And it's another barrier broken. Real talk.
How, and I mean, I mean to move this on, but I'm just interested because you said there's no, you know, there'll be IGN up there, there'll be, you know, GameSpot, Kotaku, all of these other guys, but you know they can be, you know, moved. So you know, but now you got the Hot 97 Hip Hop Gamer. How did you formulate this deal where you can still be you, your own person, your own you know, business, yet still be partnered with somebody?
Got you.
How'd you do that?
I got you. So the thing is, me and Hot 97, like, we work together. You know what I'm saying? We get money together. Like, my deals aren't deals where we're gonna pay Hip Hop Gamer to just do gaming content. I help companies get money, bro. I got a legit company, legit business. Like, I do this. So, like, for example, you know, let's just say this. Like, you know, I've done like $250,000 deals, even like more than that with you know, companies and stuff like that. So the point I'm trying to make is when Hot 97 sees me, they don't just see a talent that they got under their umbrella. They see an equal partner that they do business with. So it's the same thing with me being on the New York Stock Exchange. It's the same thing with me being signed and partnered with the AURN that allows me to be nationally syndicated. Like, I'm talent, but I'm also business. See, most content creators that you see and most people like that, they're utilized for their talent, and that's where the buck stops. But what I do is any company that I work with, I'm coming as an equal. So it's not a situation where you just pay me to do something and that's it. Not to say that that doesn't happen, but what I'm saying is just as well as they pay me to do stuff, I get them money to do stuff too. And
what you were telling me is I am the Kojima of content creating.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Well, I'll work with you.
Like that.
I'll work with you, but I got my own thing going on over here, and you know I'll help you get some money, but I'm out.
Yeah, I'm always gonna be Hip Hop Gamer, you know, Grandma's Boy Entertainment LLC. Like that's me. You know what I'm saying? With any company that I work with, I don't work for nobody. I work with people, and we do things together.
Speaking of working with people, what are some of the most inspiring people that were in your life to help you get to where you are that you'd be proud to announce here on this channel?
Oh, my sister, Tracy. Oh man, there was a so like my grandmother, you know, and this is her old way of thinking because you know this is how she grew up, but she wanted me to have like a safe city job and you know work till I'm 65 and you know like just the traditional type of thing because she wanted me to be okay. And my sister was like, Grandma, like his passion, he's gonna make it. Like ain't no way he losing. Like he got this. Like let him do his thing. He's gonna make it. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? So my sister, you know, definitely. My cousin Greg, like day one. You know what I'm saying? We grew up together. You know, sandbox. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Greg, and man, yo, he was like like my cousin Greg was like my cousin, my brother, father figure, friend. Like
So
he's
he's
like
older.
everything to me. Yeah, yeah. He's everything to me, man. My cousin Greg. So him, definitely, shaped a lot of my life that led to where I'm at today and stuff like that. Uh you know what's interesting?
What's that?
That's such a great question. Uh Another thing that's interesting is so like I give this is a crazy example, but I'll give you an example. Uh so not to get too in depth with it, but going to church helped me out so much when I look back in hindsight. I'm gonna tell you why. So when I was younger, growing up, I'm rebellious. I don't care. I want to hear about no Bible stuff and everything like that. But my grandmother always forced it down my throat. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to hear about none of that stuff. But what's so funny is the very reason why I'm here in this position today, talking to you and you asking me these questions, literally was because I took a leap of faith. Literally, it's because of faith I'm here right now. Like God did all of this, bro. I ain't taking credit. I'm the vessel that's being used, but God did all of this, man. This is literally God's plan, man. I'm gonna tell you why. June 3rd, 2016. My son is 2 years old, going on 3 that year.
Okay.
And let's just say, I'm no stranger to, drama with, who? Son's, stuff like that, son's mom or stuff like that, right? So I had to make a real tough decision. And I said, you know what? I'm leaving the mailroom today. June 3rd, 2016. I'm leaving the mailroom. I had $12,000 saved up in a 401k. That's everything I had to my name. And I was like, you know what? If I'm really who I say I am, I'm the best. I'm this. I'm that. If I'm really who I say I am, now is the time to prove it. I prayed on it, asked God to give me direction, and long story short, man, 2016, and now we in 2023. Like I've been retired from that 9 to 5 work life. I do what I want to do now, own my own company. Is thriving. I got other moves being made, so I'm set for life. And all I gotta say, man, is if it wasn't for my grandmother and her giving me the word of God, I would have never had faith to believe in God in order to believe in myself to execute this and put the work in. So I know I named my sister Tracy and I named my cousin Greg and stuff, but man, if it wasn't for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, bro, I would not be here and you would not know who I am. So if there's anybody to thank, it's God. So yeah, man, real
I love
talk.
it. I love how powerful not only the God thing, but the the grandma being willing to be patient with you through these times to teach you how to remain sustainable, whether you decide to go down her route or not.
Mm.
So, I mean, very powerful. I like that. Now I'm going to hit you with a couple of these quick hitter questions, and
Let's
then
go, baby.
we'll do our sign out. So I want to know, what gaming genre do you refuse or not really enjoy?
You know what's so funny? I don't really enjoy like the trading cards games.
Okay.
Like 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 you know uh what's so funny is like, and the only reason why is because I'm so action oriented that like I want that action. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like card based games, like Hearthstone or Cul-de-Sac Saga and certain other games, I'm not the
Right.
biggest fans of those genres, but I will play them. I don't mind playing any game, but those genres, I'm not like, yo, I can't play this. Like, nah, I could like if I never played
Put
a
me in a doctor's
trading
office, I'll
card.
play anything, but don't tell me to go play that at home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not looking or checking for any of those games. Like those games will have to do something so different to make me like look for them. Like you know what I mean? But and I hear that Marvel Snap is pretty dope. I never played that, but
Wasn't that
still,
dude
like I'm
excited?
not.
He was excited to talk about it
Yeah, yeah,
at the
like I
showcase.
think, yeah. So like that's my thing. Like Marvel Snap, um, like games like that got to do something crazy different for me to be like to be checking for it. But I'll play them. Don't get me wrong. I'll play any game. I'm never gonna be like, nah, I ain't playing that. I'll play it, but that's not the genre that I enjoy. Like that's like the last on my list.
I feel that. The next one is what is the best 3 games that you've played as of recent?
Ooh, the best 3 games that I've played as of recent. So Final Fantasy 16. I literally got that on pause right now. Like you know what I'm saying? So Final Fantasy 16, definitely. Street Fighter 6, definitely. That joint is incredible. And you know what? I love Dead Island 2. I love Dead Island 2. But I'ma say A Plague Tale Requiem. Man, that game
That
is
game was
something
hot.
special. A Plague. I beat both of them. A Plague Tale
Right.
Innocence and A Plague Tale Requiem. Oh man, those
Fire.
games beautiful. And those games got invincibility in them, like invincibility mode. So like so you don't have to die when you fighting. It's like that. So yep, I like that.
You
That's dope.
wild. All right.
Yep. Cheat codes all day.
Hey man, that's how we played back in the day. A lot,
Facts.
especially Grand Theft Auto, bro. As soon as I beat
Of
that game,
course.
it was cheat codes for life. After
Yep,
that,
of course.
and then I need to know what your favorite studio is and what game best represents that studio.
Oh, my favorite studio, Sony Santa Monica, God of War.
Simple, quick, and
Period.
simple.
God of War is the best franchise ever made. I'm always going to give David Jaffe his props. I love him. That's my dude. That's my bro right there for real. He created Kratos. He created God of War. He created, like, to me, the best game and best game franchise ever made in gaming history. To me, is Kratos, God of War.
Which one
So
do you like better, old or new version?
that's a. So I ain't gonna front. I like the new ones better, but what I would love to see is I would love to see the attitude of the old Kratos in the new design of the game.
That would be fire.
Like, honestly, you know how crazy it'd be if like 4 years from now they got the brand new God of War and like Kratos is like something happens mythical or whatever, and Kratos is thrown back into the past where he has to like relive everything, and like he has to go back to that old state of mind, but with the new design of gameplay. Yo, that would be ridiculous if they like think about it, where if there was a scenario where you're playing God of War, but there's a past, there's a present, and a future, and you get you get like different versions of Kratos all in the same game, telling a story of his life that ties into where it's gonna go. Oh man, that would be nuts. But that's just me going crazy on my favorite game.
Fair enough. Okay, so that was a pretty quick answer to that question. Now I need to know what 2 games you would like to revive that are completely dead IPs now?
Oh, all right. One game I would love to revive that's a completely dead IP is Bloody Raw. I love Bloody Raw. Bloody Raw is incredible.
It's classic.
One of the best fighting games ever, man. So Bloody Raw, I would love for that to be like revived. And another game is Power Stone. Like I said earlier on.
So you got them fighting games, man.
Power Stone. Yeah, man. Like Power Stone, man.
That was hot. Running all over the level and stuff like that.
Yes.
Running and grabbing those little orbs and whatnot.
Grabbing
and
the
hopping
orbs
back.
and doing Oh man.
Yep.
Power Stone and Bloody Raw. I would love to bring back those games, man. For real. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I say those games, because there's a lot of other games that's out they're not like certain old games, but they give you the feel of those old games. Like another game that I wish they bring back was Soul Reaver. I love Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain? What? Yep. Crazy.
Creepy ass looking dude.
Yep, that joint was fire, son. So I love that, bro. I would love to bring that back, son.
All right. And then one half of the last question, which is the first half of it is, what about gaming in all aspects, any aspect? What about gaming frustrates you?
What about gaming frustrates me?
Yeah.
Entitlement. A lot of people think they're entitled to so much when it comes to gaming and haven't given nowhere near enough to be warranted or demanding or I'm gonna put it like this, B. One thing that I noticed about gaming as a whole, if somebody don't get their way, they want to go online with their opinion, say this, say that, get mad because they feel like they supposed to get something. Dog, I told y'all I'm the GOAT of the game. Hip-hop gamer. I've been in the industry decade plus. There's still some things I don't get. There's still like, yo. And I think people get so caught up in what they think they should have or this insta gratification mentality because of the type of world and society we live in. Nobody wants to grind or put in the work or be patient. Like Ice Cube just said this recently. He was like, yo, if you ain't willing to work for at least 5 years in what you do in your craft and actually not get paid anything for it, if you ain't willing to do that, you ain't ready. Like people ain't like, it's like with artists. There's no artist development no more. Nobody grooms nobody or nothing. Nobody practices or nothing. People just go out on stage, do nothing, say nothing. Like there's no, I just want the bag. Or I got 1 million followers. I deserve such and such. So what? Who cares about your follow? Like, yo, it's just sad to see that so many people want so much, don't even know why they want it, but want it, and ain't willing to give nowhere near enough to have it in order to be able to keep it. It's one thing to get something, but can you keep it?
Yeah, maintaining is hard.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what bothers me about like the game industry. Just the sense of entitlement. Like everybody feel like they're supposed to have this. I didn't get a review code. Or this game company is like, well, they shouldn't. Well, the publisher told me this and like, I would love to see more people come up with solutions as opposed to complaints. I would love to see people have more solutions as opposed to blaming other people for why something's not. Like, one thing I did when I first started, bro, I didn't complain. I created. Period. People said this, people said that. I said, oh, all right, I'm going to do this then. I'm going to do this then. And I'm still here. See what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I want to see more of. I want to see people be ready for the very things that they say they want instead of trying to make people feel guilty for what they don't got and make it seem like they're supposed to be given to.
Mm, real,
That's what
for
I
real.
want to see.
Because
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, all the complaining somebody does, especially when when they are on a roll and they take a rest area break to complain, a lot of people forget there's a traffic jam behind them of people that love to be where you're at. So all that complaining isn't pushing you forward. It's actually putting yourself in reverse. Because somebody else might say, all right, well, we're done with you being on our road. We're going to grab this person instead. You can
Yep.
keep
And
your
like
8 million followers, but that 8 million
yep.
is going to turn into 7 million, 6 million. That's why I talk about, or that's why I just got done saying that maintaining, as crucial as it is, it's tough too, but also maintaining this up here, the mind, the brain, the drive is so critical.
That's why I always ask people, why do you want to do why do you want to do this? That's the first thing I ask. Why do you want to do this? Because once you know your why, you never forget the real reason why you're here. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key, man. Knowing what your why is. Once you know your
Okay,
why, you can execute anything.
100%. And then on the flip side of this last question, it's what would be a dream come true to you in gaming? I know you have some things that you
Mm.
may have gained or achieved that were previous goals, but we know real goal chasers always have another goal in their back pocket.
Facts.
So I want to know, what is the next goal or dream for Hip Hop Gamer, to not only because you already are self like you've let everybody know, like, I'm the GOAT in the game over here, right?
Yep.
But even the president, even the prime minister, doesn't matter what level you're at, there's always another way to ascend. What is the
Yes.
next thing that you're trying to ascend to?
I want to be the official gaming correspondent on Good Morning America.
Oh shit. Okay. I like it. I like it. That's
Yep.
ambitious. That's
Yep.
ambitious, and it's even more so ambitious because it's not even done yet. It's
Of course.
it's not an occupation that's
It's gonna get done. I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm actually not that far off. I'm gonna do it.
all right.
Just get ready for the press release.
Hey, brother,
But
as many
I'm gonna
things as
do
I've
it.
seen you being, like as many different, genres I've seen you bouncing around, and as comfortable as you are, bro, the world is yours. Take it.
Oh,
Take
you
it.
already know. You already
So,
know.
so with that being said, Hip Hop Gamer, thank you so much for being on this show today. It was it was about an hour longer of an interview than I had anticipated. But bro, you were getting things off your chest, spitting them facts, letting us know how it really was for you and how you perceive things. And for that, I greatly appreciate you, your time, and everything that you provided today here on this stream. If you could, one more quick time before we get up out of here, let everybody know one last time where they could find you.
Yo, Google me. I'm everywhere, son. IG, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Everything is Hip Hop Gamer. But if you Google me, it's all gonna come up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do this. So just Google me. It's all there. I love y'all. God bless. Hey, yo, man. TSWS Gaming. My dude Hans. Yo, I appreciate you, man. You know, for real, like, for having me on. God bless. And we got a game at some point as well, man. I got to
Absolutely.
test your skills and some of these games as well. You know what I mean? But like I
Sure.
said, it's an honor being on here, man. And thanks for the great questions and a great storyboard that you put together for me to answer, so people could follow the journey through the interview. So thank you, man. I truly appreciate it. It was very well thought out, man. This is dope.
And the thing is like I said, I send people a list of these questions, but it's only a template. It's only like a list of things, but 90% of the time, the only things that end up being repeated are those last few questions I gave you. The rest of everything I write is usually just out of the window. It's just to let you know that I got you to talk about. But anyways, I appreciate you, brother. I always ask this of the person on the way out the door, and I want you to let me know how you would describe gaming in just 3 words.
Wow, I love that. I love the way you sign people off. So how would I describe gaming in 3 words?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So simple, but so powerful. Thank you, everybody, for coming through to my show here on TSWS Gaming here on YouTube. Behind Them Sticks, your boy Ham Solo is signing out. Thank you guys so much. Those of you in the chat, those of you watching now, and those of you watching afterwards. This was a very powerful interview today. It was fantastic, and I'll be here next week with another interview for you guys. So get ready. But as for tomorrow, we are doing a show as usual, bullsitting with me, Loke, Cozy Beluga, Matt Likes Games, and a special guest that is Pixel Bit G. So make sure you guys show up. Get ready. It's going to be an exciting time. We got some announcements to make tomorrow with y'all, but I really appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you so much. And as I always say, your boy Ham Solo signing out from Behind Them Sticks. And I got to let you know to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, y'all.